Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Hey guys, this is episode 35 of All Gen Gamers. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Gamester81. I am joined by Jason the EMU Heine. What's up, buddy?
What up?
We've got Pete Dorr. Pete, what's up?
What's up?
And Johnny Millennium, Happy Console Gamer. Johnny, what's going down?
Hey, what's up, Gamester81?
The EMU
So, hey, guys-
Heine, I like that one.
EMU Review Heine. I forget the review. My bad.
Sounds better,
Bullshit.
the EMU Heine.
Worst opening
Thank you.
ever.
So, hey, it's good to be back, guys. I was gone last week. Always good to be back. And when you guys were recording last week, guess where I was?
In Hawaii?
I wish I was in Hawaii. That'd been awesome.
And everyone's
You're
like, he's
hot.
on vacation, he's on vacation.
I was actually on a train, so it would have been really hard for me to make. I was going from Connecticut to New York City. But the reason that day, earlier in the day, the cool thing, the reason I was in Connecticut, I have a good friend of mine, one of my best friends in high school. He actually worked for ESPN Studios in Bristol. So he took me to like a behind the scenes tour of ESPN Studios, which is really cool. So, I mean, Jason, you would have loved it because I actually saw all the audio stuff they do. You know, it was awesome. And I don't know if you guys are big sports fans, but it was cool. I saw live taping of Baseball Tonight, and it's pretty cool when they film it. There's like things actually going on behind them, and so like we were able to actually walk behind them while they're filming it. And I almost waved to the camera, but I didn't. I figured that'd be kind of inappropriate, but it was a really fun trip. It was a great time, and of course, went to PAX that weekend before, which I know you guys sounds like you guys talked about a little bit with Pete.
A little bit.
Right.
PAX with Pete.
So unfortunately, recording this, I haven't listened to the episode because it hasn't been released yet. So I don't really know what you guys talked about. But I don't know. Pete, did obviously you had a good time.
Yes. Very good
Yeah.
time.
And
I forget what I talked about last episode.
What's all good? Because we can get your perspective on it now too,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. Okay. I had a good time, and this is my fourth PAX. I've been to 3 in Seattle, the PAX Prime. This is my first one in Boston. And this is huge. I mean, they were expecting, I think they had like 70,000 gamers there.
Was it
the
really?
biggest
Wow.
PAX. Yeah, it was huge. I know they were like, we were talking about maybe 50,000. There was close to 70,000. It was crazy busy the whole time. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, the whole thing, I like the exhibition hall is a lot of fun. You can go in and check out the games. Some of the ones I was really big. The first thing I did, of course, when I got there was I had to check out the booths, like the old retro booths for games, right? I had to go there on Friday morning, check it out. I wanted to get first dibs. And honestly, it was kind of let down. They only had about 3 booths that were actually selling like retro games. So I managed to get what I got. Oh, I got Phantasy Star 3 for the Genesis, Johnny.
Yeah.
I paid $13 for it. Everything was really
$13
expensive.
maybe a little too expensive for that game.
Yeah. Everything was super expensive. That's the thing.
That's a problem, eh, John? That's
Yeah.
those retro stores that are there. Like I remember the PAX Prime. They're so
Yeah.
expensive. It's best.
Mark that shit up.
Yeah, of course they do.
They-
They're at a
they mark it
convention.
up.
They know people will pay that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, people
They-
who don't
they-
know, what the hell, you know?
Yeah. They had I got a box Mario Brothers one for the NES. With box, manual, sleeve, everything. Pretty good condition. I paid $20 for it.
Only $400.
Yeah.
Plus
they had
tax.
one. So this is kind of a funny story. They had one that was sealed, unopened, like sealed. That was selling for $250.
Jesus.
You know. So the guy here's kind of fun. This is funny. I actually showed the guy the unsealed one. I said, "How much is this?" He's like, $20. So I put it down. I walk around and then said, "Okay, I'm going to grab it." And he's like, "Okay, grab it." So I grab it, and I accidentally grabbed. Well, I didn't accidentally. I kind of purposely grabbed the sealed one, thinking, "Okay, well maybe I'll do it." And he's like, "Okay, $20." I'm like, "Oh wow, shit!" He's going to sell it to me for $20. And he caught me. So
You were
so
trying
he's
to
like,
steal something, John?
Hey, I'm guilty. Guilty.
You're trying
as
to
charged.
so yeah. And you know what? We were
Guilty as
talking
charged.
that a lot of people listen to the podcast. I bet that guy's listening right now, going, "God damn that Game's 81."
There was this guy
Honestly-
with a backwards hat.
Honestly, I wouldn't have gone through that because I've never stolen anything, honestly. And but I was just seeing. I was curious if he would have caught it, and he did, and no big deal. It was
I was
like
curious to see if he would have caught it.
Shut the fuck up. You know you're stealing shit.
Totally.
You fucking klepto. Get out of here.
I am, man. I am. No, but no, it was cool. So I picked up that. I also picked up a Game Boy, but I have a number of this original Game Boy, and I already have a Game Boy. But this hat came with a box, and it came with a manual. It came with a styrofoam, the earphones, the connection, everything complete with like everything, and that was $60. So I don't know if that was a good deal or not, but it came with touches too, which I already have. But I love the gameplay. It's funny because I actually on the plane home I was playing the original Game Boy, and a kid came up to me. He's like, "What's that?"
You just take it, just hit him in the back of the head with it.
He was playing his DS. He's like, "What is that?" Nothing's fused.
And there's John hitting him with his cane, going, "Get out of here, kid! Get out of here!
Get out of here!"
It's a goddamn Game Boy.
So that was cool. Those are the only 3 things I actually purchased. Everything else was I thought was overpriced. I know, Pete, did you already mention what you purchased? Because you got some cool stuff.
Oh God, what the hell did I buy again? I bought a Final Fantasy VII strategy guide for $40, used condition, the Versus guide, which was about the price I was willing to pay for a used copy. I bought Breath of Fire 3 on the PSP, which for those that don't know, that never made it over to America. It was actually exclusive to Europe, so I got a copy of that for $30. What the hell else did I buy from there? I'm forgetting already.
You got those... the
Dreamcast games.
Yeah. The homebrews.
Yeah. Yep. Homebrew Dreamcast games, Last Hope, and Dukes, Dux, however you pronounce it.
Dynamite Ducks?
Dynamite Dukes.
It's so funny, Johnny. Did you realize that
Yes.
in one of the things you used in your video, you used Dynamite Ducks, right?
Yeah, no. In the Shenmue video where Ryo he's going through the capsule toys, and it's funny. I actually was trying to get Meow from Fantasy Store because I wanted that, a little bit of video for the clip I was talking about. But I picked out Bean from Dynamite Ducks, and I'm like, that's definitely going in the video. And it's so subtle. I thought nobody's even going to notice it. You noticed. You're the only person who noticed. You're like, did you know that was Bean? And I actually responded. I guess you didn't see it, but I said, yeah. I said, I did that on purpose.
If you don't know by now, Pete notices everything.
He does. He does. It was funny, but you're the only person who seemed to mention that. Everybody else, nobody said anything. So it's pretty fun. But I did that on purpose. But continue on, boys.
What else? Anything else, Pete, that you picked up?
Oh, geez. Christ, I got too much there, honestly. I ended up just...
Do you mention that stuffed animal you got from, what was that thing? That limited edition 300 run?
Capcom? Yeah. The Okami Den plush I got. I got one of those. And they're going for obscene amounts of money on eBay.
Yeah, what are they selling for right now on eBay?
Anywhere between 150 to 200.
Wow.
And what'd you pay for it? 40?
40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I picked up I had another one too, but I gave it to Splatter Trigger because he wanted he needed one for his daughter. He had one for himself. He wanted one for his daughter, so I sold him one of mine. It's
funny because I saw him sell it on eBay too the other day. He sold for $100. You see that, John?
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching that auction. I was like, "Isn't that Pete's?" Yeah.
So okay. After I took out the games, of course, I went to the first thing I wanted to see was 3DS. I was dying to know. Well, the 3DS. I mean, we've been talking about it for a long time, right?
We've been waiting for this, John. I hope you know this. Your reaction and your status update on Facebook was classic.
Well, let's just put it this way. I'm having a hard time looking at the screen because I'm officially blind right now because of no. So I got really lucky because I got there early enough where I only waited about 20 minutes for the Nintendo booth. But it was all chaos because they had no structure to it. You could once you get in there, you could spend all day in there. It wasn't like there was time where like, okay, play for a couple minutes, you're out. You could play the 3DS technically literally all day. So later on there was like hours of wait. So I was very fortunate. And it was cool because I was actually streaming through my Android. I have Justin TV account. And it was I know Jason, you joined me for a little while. It was kind of glitchy, but I mean, I'm in a big building that's surrounded by cement, so give me a break there. But it was cool. They pretty much got an idea as far as what it was all about. What games did I play? Pete, did you go to the Nintendo booth?
No, I wasn't waiting in the line. No,
I played Pilot Wings, which is really cool.
How was that, John?
How was that, John? Yeah, it
was neat. It was really cool. I like the now. Here's the thing about the 3D effect: it's more depth perceptive. It's not like pop out of the screen 3D. Yeah, and I know, John, you mentioned that Brian at Game Deals mentioned when he played it, you have to look at it right on, otherwise it will like blur out. And that's true. That's true. It definitely does. You have to look on it right on because like when my wife was playing it, I couldn't really see what she was playing. It was kind of like a weird blur, and that's where I think it maybe like. I wouldn't say
that's its biggest flaw in my opinion. Like another thing too, I noticed you have to kind of hold it closer to your face. If you try and look at, even if you're looking at it straight on and you hold it kind of far away, it doesn't work.
Yeah. I love the analog stick they had, which is cool. I thought it felt cool. And the really coolest thing part of it was they had the whole. I know we had talked about the augmented reality aspect of it, with the card, and I kind of explained the different features with that. And remember that face and Raiders thing I mentioned before? I was able to play that. Do you remember that, where you take a picture of your face and then it's kind of it's like it attacks you and you have to kind of shoot yourself?
Real quick,
yeah.
I was actually able to play Pilot Wings and Face Raiders as well, because recently Best Buy's started putting in demo units for 3DSs. So Pilot Wings was the game on display. So I spent about 10, 15 minutes tops playing it. And I have to say I was pretty impressed with the visuals in it. But like you said, it's all looking in, like none of it's popping out, which was kind of a disappointment, because when I first heard about the 3DS and the 3D, everybody was like, it's real 3D. It like pops out of the screen, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. It's totally not that. I mean, it's not like, oh, big disappointment. I'm not buying the 3DS now. It's not like that. Just a little slight disappointment where it's basically like you're looking into a box, basically, and there's different layers to it. But I really enjoyed Pilot Wings. I thought it was a lot of fun. The joystick, or the whatever they're calling it, the joystick thing really worked well with it. The graphics were great. And I tried Face Raiders as well, because there was a way. The demo units in Best Buy's are set to only play Pilot Wings, but you can kind of do like a little mini hack to get into the menu of the 3DS if you like hold down L and R and start and select and shut it off and turn it back on. I don't know, some process. Anyway, I get to the main menu and I tried out Face Raiders, and that was pretty cool. I mean, in terms of the technology of what they're going to do with the gyroscope or whatever, and it was just fun giving it a try and seeing what other games might come of that in the future. But overall, I was impressed. In a way, I really wanted to wait, but if there's a 3DS sitting in front of you and all these freaking, like, for the past year, you've been in mystery of how this thing is going to look, you got to play it. Even though it's a couple of days away, but I'll get to that later. So go ahead. What else did you play in the 3DS Nintendo?
I played Kid Icarus, which is cool. It's a cool little shooter. It kind of reminded me of like, I don't know, like what's the game by Sega, the arcade game?
What kind of shooter?
Huh?
What kind of shooter?
Well, it's not a side-scrolling shooter. It's actually like you're facing behind Kid Icarus and like he's shooting, right? So it's like Space Harrier kind of style,
okay.
And it's cool. And again, it was just more depth, but that was a really fun game. But I'll tell you what, Johnny, my favorite game playing there was Super Street Fighter 4. It was phenomenal. Graphics are great. It's like kind of it's interesting playing on a handheld with the controllers and stuff like that, But no, it looked really great, and so did Resident Evil.
Okay. If you don't mind, here's my question to both of you guys.
Yeah.
What would you say the 3DS game that stood out the most to you, that you said, wow, was it Super Street Fighter for you, John? And Pete,
for me, it was Super Street Fighter 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pete.
Well, I mean, I only played Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and Pilot Wings.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I've been the most impressed with the 3D in Street Fighter, even though I must say the 3D in Pilot Wings was very impressive. Just Street Fighter looked amazing.
Okay.
So.
Next question. Sorry, this is actually, I'm really must-have games for 3DS launch that you've played between you guys. What would you say is a must-have game? Because I'm getting like Super Street Fighter and Ridge Racer. Do I need to get Pilot Wings? Will that really showcase the 3D?
I'm going to get Pilot Wings. Yeah, I'm going to pick Pilot Wings and Super Street Fighter 4 at launch.
Yeah.
And then later down the road, I'll pick up Zelda.
Yeah.
And but those are, I'm not going to be like Pete and get every title.
Yeah, Pete's just going to get everything. So
it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to get all those titles and give them a try. Oh, man.
Yeah.
For me, like, it's hard to say, though, because like I said, I only played 3 games. But based on what I played for Street Fighter, it's safe for me to say, even though I'm not a huge Street Fighter fan, that's probably going to be the game of choice for many of you out there that are kind of undecided on what game you want. It shows off the 3D. It's got online play, which I think from what I've heard, that might be like one of the only games with online for the launch. In terms of Pilot Wings, this is a weird one. Now, I have not played any other Pilot Wings games before, so my opinion's kind of weird on this. But from what I've been reading, the game is very short, but it's doing what the other Pilot Wings games did for the other Nintendo system launches that, it's going to do for the 3DS, whereas with the Super Nintendo, it showed off the Mode 7, and 64, it showed off, the 3D capabilities. And with the 3DS, it's basically showing you, it's kind of like a glorified, I hate to call it this, but a glorified tech demo in a way. That's basically what it is. There's not much game to it. There's only like 3 different modes. There's like a free flight, there's a mission mode, and something else, like a target shooting mode. But in terms of like, if you want to get a game alongside Street Fighter that's different than a fighting game that shows the 3D, I would say Pilot Wings would be a good bet. From what I've seen, once again, I haven't played them yet. I'll have better impressions on the next show because I'll have the 3DS. Ridge Racer would be another great bet to go with as well.
Yeah, Steel Diver.
Steel Diver.
Cool,
For those of you out there that are looking to get a little adventurous in what you buy, look into Steel Diver, and this is going to be the sleeper hit in my opinion. Ghost Recon Shadow Wars, I think it's called. It's a real-time strategy game that's inspired by like Fire Emblem and Advance Wars. So give that one a look.
No, I was overall I was impressed. But I wasn't the only one because my wife was complaining about her eye straining, and there was a number of people in there that mentioned their eyes were kind of straining. It's hard to explain. It wasn't like they were like on fire or anything like that, hurting like extremely. But it was, you could tell that if I was playing it for an extended amount of time, it's kind of like the Virtual Boy, how they have the automatic pause where like after 15 minutes, they want you to take a break. When you're playing this, I recommend taking a break and resting your eyes. Although people are not going to do that. Because I know Nintendo, they've already announced that like if you're 7 or under, it's not good for your eyes, right? Which I don't know how that's gonna. You guys hear about that?
Yeah, some about their eyes aren't fully developed and they're still in development stage, and that children under that certain amount of age shouldn't play 3DS or
Yeah.
It's funny because I've talked to quite a few people that played it too, and almost all of them said that it bothered their eyes.
Yeah.
It just depends on the person, I'm sure of it.
Well, and I talked to
bother
people
me.
I talked to people who said it didn't bother them at all. And I think a lot of it has to do with if you're staring it right on or not, or if you're moving around. Because with the face invaders or face raiders, you have to move. It's hard to explain, but you have to move the DS around in front of you in order to shoot your objects. So that's kind of tricky, keeping it aligned with your vision. If that makes sense.
You know what I think?
What?
I think it's just a bunch of people with weak eyes.
You know what I think?
Weak eyes. You know what I mean?
I think you, if you have a problem with it, you just give me it, your 3DS.
That's
there you go.
Because I would like one.
So, hey, Jason, are you picking up launch day? Because I'll come on over, man, if you want, or you can come over to my place and I'll show you.
I'm getting pissed off about it because. Okay, I'll just come over to your house.
Yeah, come on over.
There you go.
There you go. Because seriously, because I got a busy weekend. I'm turning 30 this weekend, which is crazy. I'm
The
getting
big 3-0.
The big 3-0. So, but it's gonna be a busy weekend, and I figured Nintendo did this for my birthday, so thank you, Nintendo, for that. Appreciate it.
Jason's gonna give you some money to get him Ridge Racer and Asphalt. He wants to try those out.
I'll give you like half of everything, and you can just pay the rest. Happy birthday.
Yeah, hey, John, why do you do back like you did when you were a kid, that you buy the system and you lend it to Jason, and he buys all half the games and he boards it first for like a year?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like we used to
that
do.
sounds a great idea. Sounded a great idea. Okay, that sounds good.
That's what you used to do, isn't it, John?
Yeah,
With your friends?
with the PlayStation 1, yeah, I did that with the PS1. It was terrible.
Terrible. And you never get
terrible.
that shit back. That shit was terrible.
And it was like, the only reason it was like they were twins too, so they're like, oh, we get it twice as much. I'm like, bullshit. So whatever.
You got
Twins.
scammed.
Twice as long.
That was, but we're still good friends for it. Whatever, we lived through it, and I ended up getting my own PS1, and I'm like, I'm gonna get my games I bought back, and then they got all pissed, and
And then John started to get into stealing.
Yeah.
No, don't get the wrong idea. I don't
I'm
steal.
totally just fucking with you.
I know. But listeners are gonna listen to this. They're like, oh, John's, he's a stealer. He's got no morals.
Oh, they know that's not the case, but they know that if you walk into a retro store, let's just seal it. Seriously, folks, seal everything up and keep it locked.
Lock and key.
No, trying to think. Okay, so Nintendo, obviously of the big three, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo had the best display. I was most impressed. I don't know, Pete, do you agree?
I was most impressed by the Child of Eden.
Right. No, I'm talking about as far as like just not the games, but just the published, Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo booth.
Oh, in terms of their showing?
Yeah, they're showing.
Because Sony and Microsoft, they didn't really have like a standout booth for themselves, whereas Nintendo had that, their own section with all 3DSs and some Wii's set up.
Well, Microsoft did have like an area where all like 90% of it was Kinect. And it wasn't like new Kinect games other than Child of Eden, because Child of Eden is like what, Ubisoft, or who makes that? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. So they had their own booth, or area, but it was like Dance Central. It was, Kinect Sports stuff that I've seen, I've played, and wasn't really piquing my interest. They did have Gears of War 3 to play, which is cool. Are you guys a big fan of Gears of War series?
Nope. I've given up on that series.
I finished the first and second game. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, no, they had the multiplayer. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I mean, similar graphics that I could see from the other two, but it's going to be a good game. LA Noire was cool. I didn't really get a chance to play because the line was really long. That's the thing about when you get 70,000 gamers in one area, the lines are really long. And like games like Duke Nukem Forever, Battlefield 3, you're looking at waiting 3-4 hours to play.
See, I told myself when I was going there, I'm not waiting in line more than an hour for anything, which I didn't do. I didn't waste any time waiting in line to play a game that's coming out in the next month or two.
Now, one thing I heard about Gears of War 3, and I'm not sure if this is confirmed or not, but I heard it's going to be Kinect ready, which is going to be interesting. How do you think that's going to play with the Kinect? Hello?
Cricket.
Crickets. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm actually trying to think. I have no idea how it would.
It's going to be weird.
I don't know how you'd interface that.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, the only way I can see it working, and this would go against Microsoft's religion for the freaking Kinect, is if you were able to use it while you were playing with a controller. Then I would say, oh, maybe you use it to reload, raise your arm up or some crazy shit to hit the reload timer or something. But to play it with just the Kinects, it would have to be some kind of crazy, stupid mini game in there,
Right. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. And it's going to be like, I know, Pete, you mentioned before, but if you're playing like multiplayer and there's rooms where people have their standard controller and you have to connect, you're kind of at a disadvantage, So, but we'll see if that's it. But, LA Noire, from what I saw, the graphics look great. The facial features on that game are just phenomenal. I guess there's points in the game where you have to tell that the person is lying or not. So you have to kind of watch their face and their facial features in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
I hope this technology for the faces makes its way into other games, because I have to say that it looks very impressive. So I hope it's not just going to remain with LA Noire. I hope it breaks into RPGs and stuff.
Well, I thought Heavy Rain was kind of one of those games.
Oh, this is much better than Heavy Rain.
Much better than Heavy Rain. Yeah.
The emotion it shows in the characters' faces is a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. But one game I did play, I played Mortal Kombat, the new one. And Jason, I know you're a big fighter fan, and Johnny, you too. It was a good game. I'm really glad they brought the blood back to Mortal Kombat. Right? Yeah. And they have weird sequences where if you're punching someone, it goes into like an X-ray vision, and like it zooms in on the character, and you can see their skull crush, and you can see like bones break. It's
a beautiful thing.
It was awesome, and they had the way they had it set up, dude. Jason, you would have been having, man, because they had it set up where like there was like arcade cabinets.
I saw it. I saw them. Yeah, it looks awesome.
It was pretty stellar, and they had the arcade sticks to play with. It was cool. It's gonna be a game I'll have to pick up.
I'm gonna buy it used. I downloaded the demo and I liked it. I thought it was cool, but I thought, do I need to get this day one? I think I can wait till it goes in the cheapie. Yeah. These days, and I think most gamers will say it, is that games that come out brand new, you wait a month. You can find it. They ship too many of them. You can find it for like $30.
Sure.
So yeah, I like the game. I think it's awesome, but a game I'll definitely pick up on the cheap.
Can I just say that I downloaded it last night on the PlayStation Network, PlayStation 3, right? And my girlfriend is a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So I told her, hey, I got a demo of the new Mortal Kombat coming out. And she's like, she just quietly grabbed the second player controller, slowly sat down, and was like, turn it on. So we sat down and we played. She was Scorpion, I was Sub-Zero. She whooped my ass. She won. And she was like, when's this coming out? We have to get it. Nice. So I'm just saying, yeah, I have to get it day one, or she's gonna whoop my ass.
That's hilarious.
In real life.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she's like, get over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over. There's gonna be a fucking harpoon. Get over here. No.
Does she like the old movies and stuff?
Hated the movie, loves the game.
Okay.
The first movie wasn't terrible.
No, it was pretty good. I like that.
Pretty decent. It was the other movie. Weren't there two other movies that were Sub-Zero, I should say?
They were subpar.
Sub-Zero.
I watched that first one so many times when I was a kid. I have a lot of
Dude, that
memories.
music, that even if I hear that today, like you know, I just like, oh man, I want to kick some ass when I hear that song. You know, that's a really catchy beat. You better watch them and kick your ass and steal shit. You better watch.
Get over here.
Exactly. Gonna come up and beat the hell out of you and steal your fucking.
There's gonna be a fucking harpoon through your new Mac. It's just gonna harpoon out the window.
Yeah. But yeah, those were some of the games. Oh, Child of Eden. I think Pete, you probably covered it last podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
I did. I checked out. My wife played it and she loved it. She's all about the Kinect because it's easy to catch on. You know, you don't need any buttons. You know, it was cool. We only waited about an hour, like you, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't play on the big screen. I think you played on the big one.
Yeah.
You played the big one.
They had. I'm trying to think of their games they had. Sony had I was really disappointed in Sony. Really disappointing. The only game they had was SOCOM 4, which I tried. It was cool, but it's supposed to be move ready and they didn't have any move stuff. It seemed like Sony was kind of half-assed about the whole thing. No NGP. I mean, I know it's not E3 or anything like that, but still, you'd think there'd be some kind of, you know, mention of it. Nothing for the PSP, obviously.
Not a single thing.
I think we're in a weird time. I think we're in the pre-E3 time. I think we definitely need E3 to get all the new exciting things coming out, and
right.
And that's the great thing when we're all at PAX. It'll be just after E3, so hopefully we get to play some things. You know,
we get all the goodies.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I'll tell you my favorite part of, and it's probably no surprise to you guys, but the favorite part of the Cold Convention was they had an arcade room where Fun Spot and I think it's the American Classic Arcade Museum. It's an organization. They put on this thing where, I don't know if you guys know John Jacobson. He was actually a guest on one of our shows, and he's on the
episode 6.
Episode 6.
Black
Good
Dog.
guy. He Black Dog 7. Good guy. Great channel, and he's got a great podcast as well. And he was there. So was Jumbo Junkie, but they had a whole bunch of retro games. It was really cool.
That was one of my favorite rooms there. It was awesome.
It was my favorite room, bar none. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the arcade and check it out. But, you know, I think my wife got sick of it by the end of the weekend, but they had the original Donkey Kong arcade that Steve Wiebe it was in King of Kong that he played, which is cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
They had Warlords, which I love Warlords. You know, you guys familiar with that game? But
it's unfortunate it wasn't 4-player.
Yeah, they do have. I think they have a 4-player version, but this was a 2-player version. But I mean, Pete saw it, and this thing was actually like it was a reflection, and it looked 3D. Because I don't know, Jason, have you ever played Warlords? Jason or Johnny, have you ever played Warlords arcade in the arcade?
I think was that very old game where you had like swords. There's
4 corners, there's 4 castles, and you have a
also on
rollerball.
Xbox Live Arcade, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'm thinking of something totally different. Never mind me.
And you're supposed to, there's this flame flying around. You're supposed to hit the flame and protect your castle. It's like a Pong, advanced version of Pong, essentially. You know, and you're supposed to, but really fun game, very addictive, very challenging. It's a rollerball controller. But the way they had it set up was, it was like reflecting. There was a screen, it was reflection, and it made it appear in 3D.
Huh.
It was really cool. And for a game that came out in like the early 80s, way ahead of its time.
Yeah, totally.
And it's super looking cool cab. I think honestly, like arcade cabs are artwork to me.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's awesome. I mean, I love the artwork they put into the time they put into, and that's just something you don't get in today, like with Xbox Live, or you know, you don't experience that.
Of course not. I'm looking at it right now. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I can see it.
It is cool. It is cool. That was cool. They had Tapper, which is another one of my favorite games.
Oh yeah, beer tapper or whatever.
The original Budweiser version too. So you have like the beer taps, and
That's
there's
a rare
an area.
game.
Yeah, there's an area you can actually put your beer. Which is awesome. A really fun game. Yeah, that's a rare version because what happened was Bally Midway, who released it, were like, okay, maybe we shouldn't target towards beer drinkers because kids are playing this. We'll call it just root beer tapper. So they changed it to root beer.
Yeah, the actual Budweiser version is really hard to find.
Yeah, they had that. They had Crazy Kong, which is interesting. That was like a clone of Donkey Kong. That they basically, it was like a bootleg version of Donkey Kong, but they've changed some things. It's sped up a little bit, different color formats. They've added space, like when you're running up the whole beams, they've added spaces. So now you have to jump over those spaces. And it's a little different sequence and another rare cabinet. But I think about 35 or 40 cabinets. What do you think, Pete, is that?
I think closer to maybe almost 40 to 50.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit in there. I was happy because they had Tempest. I love playing.
Oh, yeah,
Tempest.
But the funny thing, they had a couple guys who were doing like tournament, like trying to do competition, like getting a high score. And they had one guy that had this area roped off, and this guy had his camera, and he was there literally all day playing Tempest. Remember that, Pete?
Yeah, I was kind of pissed off because that was like one of the one machines I really wanted to play. I finally went in there later on. I forgot, but they had it unroped so you can play it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really cool area. And then they had, obviously, like with PAX Prime, they had areas where vintage games, so you can test out anything from TurboGrafx to Vectrex to Atari 2600 to Nintendo, Sega, all that good stuff. And they had areas where you could, show your trade in your driver's license. They'll let you rent out a game and try it on that system. One of the games that was kind of cool that they had for the Saturn, which I'm really surprised they had it, was Panzer Dragoon. With Saga. Saga, yeah. What's it called? It's
Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah.
I mean, who would go there and play that? Like, I could see maybe for 10 minutes just to kind of see how it looks. If you've never seen it,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but who's going to go there and play Panzer Dragoon Saga? Seriously.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, and then they had obviously an area where you could go play modern games, same kind of deal. But these areas, I mean, it was really packed. You're looking at, several minute, 20-minute wait to just wait in line for a game, to play. But the only disappointing thing about the retro area was that a lot of the systems were hooked up to like flat screen TVs, like HD TVs, and the image just doesn't look good on an HD TV.
They just do that just to be convenient and easy.
Yeah, I know that. I know they did have, like, if you wanted a firing game like Duck Hunt, they did have an old school TV because that doesn't work on the modern day TVs because but it just didn't look good on HD TVs. The pixels look kind of off. I don't know, but you're right. It's probably just more convenient factor. But yeah,
how was the YouTube meetup? You saving the best for last?
It was terrible.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Jumble junkie and
that was great. Yeah, it was. We made an announcement that we meet people up in front at 3:00 on Saturday, and it was cool. I'd say maybe like 20 or 30 people showed up.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I think the majority of them were there to see Pete. But that's all good. We bumped into a guy wearing a Happy Console Gamer shirt. I know we took a picture of that.
And supposedly he didn't know who you got. I wasn't there, but he didn't know who you were, and he didn't know who Splatter Trigger was. He didn't know who anybody was.
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to a cool guy. His name's Junior, and he is from Brazil. He made all the way from Brazil to see us and see PAX.
Whoa!
But he's a huge fan of the podcast. He's probably listening. And Junior, man, it was great bumping into you. Really cool guy. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, all the way from Brazil. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was fun, hung out, and again, I did some live streaming, and Pete was there signing some autographs, and it was cool.
Crazy amount of people there. It was like so overwhelming, but it was awesome.
It was cool. What was that little kid that came up to you, Pete? And he's like, "Hey, Pete," he's like all intimidated from you and stuff. It was.
Well, yeah, he was very nervous, but I didn't pressure him into.
Pete said, "Fuck off."
When Pete opened up his trench coat full of guns and controllers.
Yeah.
And then I stole shit from he knocked him out, and then I stole shit from him. That's how we tag team that shit.
Hey, what's that over there, kid? And he stole his lollipop.
No, no, it was really cool. Very, very humbling to see people and just to meet people who are fans of our individual shows and the podcast. And I had a lot of people come up to me and say, "I love it, All Gen Gamers," which is cool. So it's really neat to hear that,
Yeah.
But what else? I think another aspect of the PAX was obviously the panels and the groups. Now, Pete, did you touch base on any of the stuff that we saw?
I didn't do any. I didn't talk about any panels because I figured I'd talk about it with you.
Yeah. So Pete went to. Let's talk about the one about they had you guys familiar with Antique Roadshow where people bring in random shit and then they're like, I found this at a garage sale. How much is it worth? Oh, this is a really rare, $10,000 item. But in this case, it was for video games. So people would bring in video games or video game accessories, and one guy brought in a Power Glove, but it was in its original Power Glove case, like a special custom case. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking. And it was the guys
were prototype kind of promotional case in a way.
Yeah, and they were I don't know how much they said it was worth, but they're several $100s or some crazy thing. What were some of the other items, Pete? There was a couple Game & Watches.
Well, they brought in Panzer Dragoon Saga, which they valued at $200, which is spot on. They had some Game & Watches, which they valued at I think they
40,
said $80 for the 4 of them or something. There was some, I forget the names, but there were, it was interesting because, someone brought in a prototype for Drax Night Out for the NES. And they said the value on that has gone down because even though it's kind of a one of a kind, but because of ROM dumping and the readily available ROMs that are all over the internet, I forget what they said that was worth.
The shitty thing about that though is the guy actually provided the game to be ROM dumped. So the guy in a way, even though he was trying to do a good deed and share it so other people could play the game, he devalued the value of the game by doing that, which is shitty. So I think he said it was probably worth like $400, something like that, wasn't it?
$400 if it wasn't dumped. I think if it is dumped, I forget what they said. There were 2 games there on the PC Engine, I think it was CD, and one of them, I forget the names, but one of them was valued at like $400, but it ended up that the copy he had was a bootleg. And then the other one was like $100, but that was kind of interesting for them to discuss, bootlegs and games and stuff. They had some slideshows and they'd go over, what to look for in variants in games, and they explained to people why some versions of stadium events aren't as expensive as others. What other games that they have there?
It was really cool. It was only an hour, and there's still a lot of people that had stuff to like show. So, next year I'll be prepared, maybe bring some stuff by, but I don't want to lug that stuff around with me if it's valuable,
Yeah, totally.
So, I don't know. That was really cool though, to see that. That was a highlight. We saw, I know Pete saw the Giant Bombcast podcast, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
We saw Joystick podcast. Have you guys ever listened to Joystick podcast?
It's not the Joystick, it's the Joystick 360 Fancast. So it's sort of like a subdivision of theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I got to say, this may sound terrible, but I've never listened to any other podcast. I've listened to Operation Kill Screen, and that's about it. I was never really big into podcasts, so podcasting is a whole new thing for me. So there's all these big podcasts out there that I've never heard, like the Bombcast. I know everybody listens to that supposedly. I don't know what it's about. Isn't that crazy? It's about video games. I know that. Yeah,
it's a good. They got good chemistry. They got a good stuff going on, and good show. And there was another one we listened to, Pete. What was the first one?
Let me just say something about the Joystick one. It's like our podcast. We had never listened to it before. And we went in there and they were making like so many jokes that we had no idea what the hell they were talking about. They were talking about people that apparently everybody in the room but us knew about. So it was kind of like, it was kind of weird. It would be like if someone listened to one of our podcasts where we talk about like the fucking whale or something and they've never listened to it before. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they whipped out like Vegemite or some shit and had people eating that, which is, I don't know, kind of disgusting, but random shit. But I mean, they obviously are pretty funny. But what was the first one that we went to, Pete? I forget the name of it. It was another podcast we saw, listened to the first day.
Oh, the Retronauts, which was
Retronauts. Yeah, that was cool. They're cool guys.
They're a podcast that talks about nothing but retro games, and they kind of disbanded their podcast a few months ago, and this was, I guess, their return, I guess you can say. And they talked about 16-bit consoles, so that was pretty fun. They talked about the history behind them. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. And these went on for about an hour, really quick. It went really quick. And you guys know who Keith Apicary is, right?
Yeah.
Now tell me about this panel.
Yeah, I looked at the video. I tried looking at the video. Okay, can I just give a pre? Yeah. You said he got kicked out. I went on YouTube to try to find some videos. I found a couple of videos, and I didn't understand. He had something going on with one of the security guys in the room.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Okay. Now he's just a little background on this guy, and for those who don't know who he is, he's kind of a goofball. I mean, it's his character, and he just kind of does random shit. He got kicked out of E3 because I guess he went up to a panel with James Cameron and grabbed his water or some shit. He just does stupid shit, and he does it like, it's crazy. So he debuted his. Okay, you guys, you've listened to the Neo Geo song, the Neo Geo. He did a Virtual Boy song.
Yeah.
So he came out in this like crazy suit with lights and shit. He's got this Neo Geo strapped to his head, or not Neo Geo, the Virtual Boy strapped to his head, and he does this like Virtual Boy song. And the whole video is him fucking having this Virtual Boy shit strapped to his head, and he can't see shit because you can't see the thing with the thing on his head. And he's in the public walking around and bumping into shit. So he'll walk into like a Target and he'll like run into an aisle and like trash shit. or like there's one area, like one scene in the video where he's crossing like the street, like with his shit on, and like he like there's a convertible like parked right there, and he fucking goes in the convertible and like flips over into the car, and the car drives away, and he's like fucking in the back.
So wait, so this is a new video he's put up?
Yeah, well, it's not. We were the first ones to see it, so I don't think it's like officially been released. I'm not sure if it's been released since I saw it, but we're the first ones to see it, so it's pretty funny. There's one where he's fallen from like a 2-story building. Yeah, I mean, like it's into a dumpster or some shit. You know, he just so basically we watch that video, and then he has people ask questions. But there's this one like he wasn't even security. He was what they call like enforcers, which are volunteers for PAX who help out. And I guess he rubbed him the wrong way apparently because Keith got onto the table and it was going to do like a backflip onto the ground from the table, and like he's like, "You gotta get the fucking off the table, whatever." And Keith's like, okay, shrugs his shoulder and does it anyway, you know? And that kind of started all. And the guy was like, whatever. And then...
was it fake? That seemed real.
You know, it was legit. It was real. The guy was fucking pissed. And then like Keith does like, he didn't really have any pattern to the whole panel. It was kind of random. He had this whole like script where he'd had bring people come up, and he had this thing called Halo Beach instead of Halo Reach. Like it was like he was on a beach and he's like, doing Halo shit, and you know, it's kind of and he had a girl come up on stage and he almost tried to make out with her, so that kind of pissed the enforcer off. And then the guy's like, he's like, "Do you even know who I am?" And the guy's like, "No." He's like, "Well, here's a DVD, check me out," you know, just kind of taunting the dude. And eventually it just got to the point where he was just kind of egging this enforcer guy on.
Even one of the guys that he had up there on his like little Halo Beach skit I saw in the video said something like, "Hey, you know, what's up with that pussy fat face?"
Yeah, what's up with the fucking long face dude over there? And the guy got pissed, and he went up to the panel. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "If you do it one more time, I kick you fucking out of this room." And everyone's booing, kind of like, what the deal? And so Keith does this one more skit. He has one more skit he does, and he goes underneath the table and like climbs up on the table, and then unfortunately, he's like, "That's it, it's over." And
what an idiot!
Like, I'm like, really?
What a loser.
What the fuck is going on? And people are booing, and he's like, "Call the cops, get the cops in here." This guy was on a serious power trip, right? So then like, and so Keith was like, "I didn't do anything. What the hell? What's going on?" So it was just a complete power trip. And so Keith, he's like, "Okay, let's go out in the hall and I'll sign some autographs. So whatever, we'll talk in the hall." So they do that. And like, meanwhile, cops are coming in and like raiding the place and kicking people out.
Bunch of more.
It was ridiculous. When that happened at the end where he's like, "All right, this is over." How long had the panel been going on for? Because if it was at like the 55 minute mark, that was
it was about 50 minutes. 50 minutes.
15 minutes?
50.
Yeah, see, that's getting close to the end of the panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been staged.
The guy was on a power trip, but from what I saw, I'm watching the video, and I'm just like,
but
the guy, that Nathan guy, Keith guy, was not even doing anything wrong.
No, he was
no, you know what? Seriously, when a person is having a panel and they're the guest up on stage, get the fuck, know your role, stay on the side, you know, guard the fucking door. Don't end a panel that everybody went to see. If you like the guy or not, it's not your opinion. You know
he was just a fucking volunteer. He wasn't even like security or anything. He was just.
I know. Talk about drama.
It was a drama queen. And people were like, "What the hell?" You know, people were like booing, and there was like Keith. But one question asked, like it was funny because like he had an area where part of the panel where people were asking him questions, and when one chick's like, "Do you have a girlfriend? And if not, then do you like redheads?" Because she was a redhead, you know. So it's like, it was pretty funny.
What was his answer? Do you remember?
He's like, "Do I look like I have a wife?" Or, you know, or some stupid shit like that. And he's like, "Of course." He's like, "I like your body." He's like, "I like your shape," or some shit like that. He's like, "I like your shape of your body," or, you know, that's how he's a goofball, you know.
Yeah.
So
he's all an act, right? He's
he's a good.
I've looked at his videos on YouTube where he's like himself. He's like a totally different guy. It's a character.
He does a great job.
I've actually talked to him on Facebook. He's actually a normal, down to earth guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he's like James, you know, Angry Video nerd. You know, it's like he's an act. He's not like an asshole in real life, you know. And from those people I've talked to who have met him, he's like a really down to earth dude, you know. And he loves video games. He doesn't just talk shit about all of them, you know. But it's an act, so they do it well. You know, kudos to them.
Hey, John, when you you did a status update on your Facebook saying, you know, like that Nathan guy, Keith guy got kicked out, and I was just like, what the hell happened? I was so dying to hear what happened. Because I guess you posted that right away as soon as it happened.
I posted it right away. Yeah, I said, "Oh yeah, out," and I figured I'd save it for the podcast or some shit. But there you go. Keep you in suspense.
I love it.
That's PAX in a nutshell for me. I mean, Pete, do you have anything you want to add?
I guess I went over most of it last time. I was just waiting for the panel stuff for you to talk about. I don't think there was no other panels that we went to, right? Or
there was one I went to actually that Pete, you didn't attend, but it was one. It was the guys who created Miss Pac-Man.
Nice.
And it was a really interesting, fascinating story about.
I didn't know about that. When was that?
That was on Saturday, I believe, Saturday afternoon, and it was fascinating because they talked about these guys who are from MIT, right?
This is such a great story.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, you know the story? Yeah. Uh-huh. So they're in MIT, and they decide to, obviously, it's in the early 80s, and Pac-Man's big, okay? And they decide what they want to do is they purchase some arcade cabinets, and at the time, it was like, it wasn't even Pac-Man, it was like Space Invaders, you know? And so they purchase the Space Invaders, and they find out that it was like a huge success on campus. Like they were making a ton of money doing this. They were filling bags full of quarters literally every day from this machine. So they end up using that money and putting it into purchasing another machine, and one goes to another. And they decide, well, Space Invaders is cool, but let's make it like a game that kind of hack the game a little bit and change it up a little bit. So they created like, I think it's like, what is it called, Jason? Like, do you know, like Super Space Invaders or Space Invaders Deluxe or some shit? They do something to it differently.
Yeah, I think they add Deluxe in the end. Or
so
two or something, yeah.
They add it, yeah, they do something subtly different where it's a little bit more challenging and whatnot. And they end up selling, they literally in their dorm rooms are making these boards and selling these boards to arcades, and they make like $100,000 overnight.
You see, what people were doing is they were playing the games, and then they were easy for people once they beat them.
Right.
So they were like, let's make it more challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so basically, instead of, as an arcade owner, instead of going out and buying a new arcade cab, which is, you know, $1,000 or more, they would actually go and just buy this board and then swap out the board. Much more cost, kind of like with the Neo Geo, right? And so what ended up happening is they took that idea and they saw Pac-Man was huge, and they created a game called, was it Crazy Auto or something like that? Mm-hmm. Which is basically essentially kind of like Miss Pac-Man, but this guy has legs, like the Pac-Man has legs, right? And it's a super rare board today. There's only like 3 or 4 out there. And long story short, I don't want to get into it too much, but they end up creating Miss Pac-Man, the game, and they get sued by like, who could they get sued by someone. I think it might be Namco or someone they get sued by. I forget the story, but it was a really fascinating story. And they're talking about today how, you know, they still get royalties off Miss Pac-Man. Can you imagine? Because even that game today is like, you see how many Miss Pac-Mans on your phone, you know, whatnot. They're living it up on that game, right? But it was really cool because there's just guys in the dorm room hanging out at MIT. They never graduated college. It's just like, you know, we're making her, you know, they end up creating a company and creating a whole bunch. Oh, Atari sues them. Okay. For these games because Atari's all pissed. And they settle out of court, and Atari ends up hiring them as the settlement. They're like, okay, well, you know what? We'll pay you to be employees, but we don't really expect you to do it. It's kind of a weird thing that we don't expect you to like really do anything. We just want you to go aside and stop doing what you're doing. We'll pay you off because you're hurting our industry.
They wanted them to stop making the boards that were hurting their sales, and basically give them a salary, bring them in, and then let them do nothing. That's what they want to do. Just pay them off.
But they ended up actually making a whole bunch of 2600 games. They made a whole bunch of 5200 games. They made a whole bunch of other Atari games as well. They made Quantum. I don't know if you guys know what that game is. It's an old Atari game where it uses a rollerball to vector graphics, and they had it there at PAX as well. But the whole idea is you're supposed to circle these like dots going around. It's a really cool, kind of very unique game, not very successful. And they created what was the other one? They created another Atari game that was Food Fight. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no, it was a really fascinating panel, Pete. It's too bad you missed it. Yeah. Sucks for you.
Sounded awesome. One panel I wanted to go to was there was a StarCraft 2 panel where they were going to like Husky and Day 9. For those that know StarCraft, you probably know who those two are.
Yeah.
They were going to do a panel where they were going to like live commentate on a finals tournament match, which are always exciting. I love watching those on Justin TV. You know, a pro level game in a finals of a tournament where, you know, there's money on the line. It's just very exciting. And I went there like an hour ahead of time, and it was already filled. Like the line to get in was filled like way before I asked someone there.
Wow.
That's unfortunate. I didn't think that it would be that big, but man, StarCraft 2 tournament watching is huge.
That's the thing at PAX, and we'll say that to anybody who's going to go to a future PAX who hasn't been. If there's something that you really want to see, get in line ahead of time. I know you guys complained, that the lines are too big, but the lines are a necessary evil at PAX.
Well,
so
the funny thing is about this panel is all the panels that John and I went to, and the ones that I went to without John, they all, well, except for one, they all had plenty of room inside. So even if you got there like in the last minute, you'd still get in. So it was kind of surprising with StarCraft.
It's always the ones that you really want to see. Yeah, it's always the ones you really want to see have the smallest rooms, they would say.
Oh, I forget if I brought it up last time. I went to a live recording of X-Play too. I forget if I mentioned that, where they recorded like a live Q&A kind of episode. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, it was a great time. It was a good trip overall, a good vacation.
Looking forward to PAX Prime, I'll tell you that.
I was going to say, we mentioned this when you were away, John. When we do PAX Prime, we should get like a little get together and not stream it live, but we wanted to record a live episode of Old Gen Gamers where if anybody wanted to show up and listen to us record, where we can sort of maybe do a live Q&A, that would be a possibility.
Absolutely. I'm down for that, for sure.
Sort of like a mini panel without the panel room.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. That's a great idea. You guys want to hear kind of a small world, though?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know who Sid is. He's a YouTuber. His name on YouTube is the Old School NYC Gamer. Okay, he's from New York, and him and we met up in Vegas for the Classic Gaming Expo. He was there. Okay, so I met him in person. He doesn't really show his face on the videos, but my wife and I are in New York City. Okay, and we're just hanging out, and we go to get some food, and guess who fucking works there in New York City?
No.
Fucking Sid. Yeah, Sid's there. A city of 8 million people, and I bumped into him in New York.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah, he did a video of me in the street. It was
I
like
saw that video.
TMZ.
So when you started telling the story, I'm like, oh, I kind of thought that you guys had wanted to meet up. Then all of a sudden you said you happened to walk in there. That's wild.
Yeah, I just happened to run into him.
Yeah, while he's working, that's hilarious.
While he's working. It's hilarious. Yeah, good guy. No, but it was really fun. Small world and of a city of 8 million people or more. It's funny that we happened to bump into each other, It was totally unexpected, but it was cool. Cool coincidence. But
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I want to say to you guys is that just in case I kind of jumped the gun, just because somebody posted on my Facebook, part of the Game Deals crew per se, saying, "Oh wow, I thank God I just got a suite at the Sheraton because it's selling out." They said there's no suites left or whatever, blah blah blah. So I freaked out. I grabbed the phone and phoned the Sheraton in Seattle there and said, "Hey, do you have any rooms?" They're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Okay, can I reserve some rooms for the 25th, 26th, 27th?" And so that's what I did. So now, I'd say that to you guys right now. You don't have to pay anything, but reserve your room and do it at the Sheraton.
Hotel the one right? Is it right on PAX? Because I don't want one where I have to take no shuttle. That's what I had to do here.
No, okay, listen to me. The Sheraton is PAX. Isn't that right, John?
Yeah, it's in downstairs. There's some area, not the whole thing. I mean, there's a convention center which has got 90% of it, but they do have some conference areas where there are panels and stuff in the Sheraton.
Yeah, basically.
So it's right across the street.
Everybody's staying in the Sheraton. Like that'd be a really great place to stay. Even the Game Deals party's going to be there, and the parlor suite's going to be there. So on a night we can just chill there.
So no money down, right? You just reserve it.
That's correct. That's correct. So just find Seattle Sheraton, book the dates. I'm going up on the Thursday, so I'm going to stay the Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Leave on the Sunday.
Nice. I'll stay like a night, but my brother lives. I have family in Seattle, so I'm going to just do the cost-effective way and stay with my brother probably.
I'd love to stay with your brother too.
Yeah. Hey, we'll all stay with my brother Greg. Thanks. I mean, John, you met Greg before, so
yeah. What the fuck was I calling him? I got his name wrong.
You call him Gary the whole night. He's like, Gary, hey Gary. the end of the week, I'm like,
that is so.
Dude, and
funny,
he was always flying by too. He's like, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, dude, it's Greg.
But no. You told me when I got back. You're like, by the way, my brother's called Greg.
Yeah. He doesn't care. He's cool. He's a big fan of your show, by the way. He's a big fan of all you guys' show. So
that's cool. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. Like shit, I feel bad. I got his name wrong for an entire convention. That was a very crazy convention.
It was cool.
You can call
I'm
me
excited.
Doug. It doesn't matter.
Donnie or some shit. Donnie.
You can call me whatever you want. Donnie. Yeah, I'll handle that. Yo, Donnie. Donnie. That'll be fun. But hey, guys, anyways, no. What I recommend is just be safe. Just get your rooms and book them now. But okay, so here's the deal.
How much is it a night though?
Okay, that's what I'm gonna get into. Right now, for a king size bed, like for me and the girlfriend as well. Okay, just hold on. It is $215 a night. But wait, that's just for prices right now. Now next month, the deals come up for PAX with your doing the convention. They have the package deal for those nights. So what you can do is reserve your room. This is what I'm doing. So right now I've reserved my room for a little bit more money than I'd want to pay. But come next month, I'm going to phone them back and say, hey, I've reserved some rooms, but I'm staying for the convention that weekend. Isn't there some special convention deal? And they're like, oh, yes, sir. Sorry. Let me bring that price way down for you.
Is that what you did last time?
Yes. The price of the hotel for me for I think the Thursday, Friday, Saturday was about, okay. It may sound expensive, but remember, this is a king size bed. I had a pretty decent sized room. It was about $560.
I have an idea. Why don't you guys just get one king size bed and just the three of you and your girlfriend just hang out.
All Gen Orgy.
All Gen Orgies.
Let's just get a bunch of futons on the ground and have everybody over.
Fucking Caligula.
Yeah, one big blanket over everybody and turn out the lights.
Toga.
That sounds terrifying. That sounds terrifying.
I'll say it was the game deals party though. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Awesome time.
Right.
And just to have the chance to have ketchup potato chips again and Smarties from Canada.
I told you guys you can get ketchup flavored chips down there.
I know, but it's not the same. The Lay's, it's a Lay's brand, bro.
I know.
Can I just ask a question?
They have French wording on them too. I love the French language on all the Canadian stuff.
Les formidables, les.
Smarties. Can I ask a question about Smarties?
Yeah.
We have Smarties here.
No.
Rockets. They're called rockets for us. Isn't that the shit that you get on Halloween candies that everybody hates?
No. Jason, here's the deal.
What?
Smarties in Canada are way different. They're like M&Ms. They're chocolate, first of all. They're not those powdery stuff that we have in the States. They're chocolate. They're like, oh my goodness. I can't explain it.
Okay, well, then off the trick, because you keep saying, oh, I can't wait to get Smarties. I'm like, shit, we have those shitty Smarties down the street.
No, they're not the shitty like powder shit that you like
I
chalky
hate those.
shit.
Yeah.
No, they're like M&Ms times 10. Like they're a little bigger than M&Ms, maybe like a nickel size. There's more, a little bigger than a nickel.
All right.
They're good. They're good. So on to the next topic.
Yeah, just definitely phone up, reserve your room, just because it's gonna sell out. Come next month, it's just gonna go boom.
I'm gonna do it. I'll call them up tomorrow.
You don't have to spend any money. That's what's great about it.
I'm gonna do a media pass too. Get a free ticket. And
how do you get a fucking media pass?
You need there's several requirements. You need to be part of the media, which we probably qualify, hopefully being reviewers. But you need like a business card, which is not hard to get. You can make your own. You need letterhead. So you need something with like your logo on it, with a piece of paper with your logo on it, and just something explaining to you like basically who you are. Because TV and Lutz, Craig, he got a media pass, and the advantage,
like the thing is it's not E3. What does that entitle you to do?
Okay, let me tell you what it does. It
lets you
tell them what to do.
Let me tell you what to do. Okay, it actually lets you go an hour early before the convention opens to the public, so you can test out all the games, and you can what?
Are you serious?
Yeah, and that's not the best part. The best part about it is it's a fast pass. So even when the convention opens, if you want to test out Duke Nukem Forever, you don't want to wait 3 hours. Boom, on media, you're in front in line.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it was Craig was talking.
Everybody would get one of those.
Huh?
Everybody. Okay, yeah. Let's talk to Craig. Let's see what's going on.
Just reach out to Craig. I'm pretty sure that's what.
I think it just lets you talk to the developers if you make an appointment. I don't think it like boosts you to the front of the line. That would be pretty messed up.
Fucking amazing.
No, that's what I heard. I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong. I might be off. Might be lying. But
seems too good to be true.
Disneyland Fast Pass lets you do that.
Yeah, Disney does it. Wine and PAX.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do know it opens up. He does. I know for a fact it opens less than an hour early before everyone else can go, so you can check out the games an hour early.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's worth, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's not $50, so it's free.
Cool. It's kind of worth doing.
Yeah, it's worth looking into. So let's do it. As All Gen Gamers, we can do it.
We can do it. Let's do it.
And I think, Pete, like you said, we should get a group together and a certain time and start recording. I don't know how we're going to do that with equipment on the road, though. That might be kind of tricky.
Just need a laptop and a snowball mic, and that's it.
Done.
My laptop can handle it. I got a pretty powerful laptop, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. It'll be fun.
Because I ain't dragging the studio down there.
Yeah. Definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
So shall we hit some questions, or what are we going to do?
Hold on now. Hold on here now.
Oh, yes.
We got a special little delivery.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've actually been dying. All
right, so let me set it up here. Very quick setup here. Someone who listens to the show, his name is Vito, has made us something. Well, very indirectly made us something. He actually made it, and he shared it with Mr. Ben Broland1. Some of you may remember him. We had him on as a guest not too long ago.
Definitely.
Friend in real life, and he made it. And apparently, Ben was the only one that knew about this. So I asked Ben for these 2 files, and I listened to them, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So, Jason, if you would take the first file and play it for us.
And just to give us some backstory here, Pete sent me these and said, don't listen to them, don't open them, don't look at them, don't click on them, don't do anything. Just wait for me on the podcast.
So you haven't heard it yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't. Right? I have them still here on my flash drive. I'm going to transfer it over. I haven't even done anything with them. So, okay, I have the first file. You want me to play it?
Yeah, play the first one.
Oh, I wonder what this is. Pete. Wow.
It's extremely hard touch.
Oh my God, so hard.
Oh yeah, so hard.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really hard. Fuck me in the asshole. Can I hop in?
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh God.
Nice. I like that.
Damn. Oh shit. Slow down a little bit. I think I'm gonna come so fast.
Oh my God. Fire! Fire!
Oh shit.
Pete, holy cow, this is intense.
I just want
to. That's beautiful.
That was so good. And a blue, like right in the center of your head, like across your forehead and in front of your right eye.
It was still fun for me though.
I knew you were going to say that.
You'd actually play with your mouth. It was really weird.
Oh my God, that's it. That was
my God.
Oh, that's incredible.
At first I thought Johnny was actually talking and shit. Like,
yeah, I know. That's why I think you guys are talking.
Oh my God.
That was amazing. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Now there's still a second one now.
Oh my God.
Please,
Oh my God.
please play it. We'll do silence till it plays. So it's not us talking.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do to you guys. I'm going to fuck you all ass to mouth.
No.
I know it's creepy stuff.
I can't wait.
What?
Like that. Yeah, I'll be in line for that shit.
Oh my God. Are you serious? It's wild stuff.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh my God. Do I want to?
My wife and I will watch.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez. I'm scared and interested. Okay. What is it? I got it. I'm in.
He's on fire.
I love the.
Hold on.
Oh my God! Look at that thing.
Oh wow.
Nice. Pete, please grab him. Yes. God Almighty. Do it. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh jeez.
Oh.
Hey, you guys.
No.
Wow. Holy shit.
What the fuck?
It's weird.
What did it sound like? What did you hear?
It sounded like a person.
It sounded like aliens were coming.
Yeah.
Naked aliens.
Yeah, naked.
Come on. I enjoyed it. You know, I wasn't scared by it, except for maybe the last minute or two. I like the ending. I thought it was pretty good.
I just cannot believe this guy. He just keeps on going.
That's crazy.
Oh, that was incredible. That is over now, just so you know.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I'm crying, dude.
But what we'll probably do is we'll make that available as a video on our All Gen Gamers channel. Obviously not safe
There
for
you go.
work, though. I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to post it on there or
That's
not.
safe for work. Stick it in
What's
my pooper.
That is hilarious.
That is comedy. Love it. Good. Thank you for who made that.
Vito C. His last name's C. Ben didn't give me his last name just in
I
case.
love your moaning in that.
See?
Like Pete's like, oh yes, oh yeah.
Awesome.
If you guys didn't notice, Rob was even in the first one very
Really?
subtly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, can I jump in there?"
I gotta listen to that again. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
Good. Thanks for showing.
that made my night. That was good times.
All Gen Orgies.
Old Gen porno. Yeah, I don't.
That's
I'm
the title of the file. I had to rename it because the original names were AGG Orgy.
Yeah, it says AGG sound.
Yeah,
Wow.
a
Excellent.
little different. A little different.
Well, thank you so much for Vito for doing that.
Yeah,
for
thanks
us.
for the good laughs.
Yeah, awesome.
Definitely fun
Good
stuff.
times, man. Good
So,
stuff.
so I guess speaking of the All Gen Gamers YouTube page, let's go ahead and throw that out there. Hey, if you guys want to design a background for us, that would be awesome. Submit it on in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Send them to contact@allgengamers.com and we'll pick the best one and use it for our background. I just kind of spur of the moment thought of it. Why
That's
not?
good. I like it.
We don't have a
Yeah.
background right now, so why not? You guys come up with some cool, creative stuff, and we'll see where that goes. So,
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Should we do games we've been playing lately, or should we been doing?
Yeah, John, what have you been playing lately?
Well, considering I've been out of town a lot, well, actually, I've been playing the DS quite a bit. Played that Space Invaders Extreme. Have you guys played that one for the DS? It's an older game by Tato, but Square Enix. It's fun. Have you guys ever played it?
No.
no, I haven't.
It's if you guys are big fans of like Space Invaders, this is I prefer this actually because it's kind of like Space Invaders meets modern. Like you can there's weapon upgrades, there's boss battles. It uses nice use of the dual screen. I beat that I played all the way through it. It's a really fun, addicting game. And what else I've been playing? I've been playing the Game & Watch collection for the DS. That's the Mario Nintendo Club one. That's interesting. They have like Donkey Kong and, for the Game & Watch on the DS. That's cool. But I'll tell you that really mostly arcades. I went to Pete, you should check this place out. It's in Brooklyn. Okay. Because I know you go to Nintendo every once in a while for Nintendo World. Next time you're in the area, check out, it's called Barcade. Have you guys heard of this place?
Yeah, I have.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I did some video. It's not up yet. I'll put up on my Game Studio and Arcade channel when it's up, but it is a really cool place. And I didn't even know about it, honestly. I did Google search. My wife's like, let's find a bar. What's it do on a Wednesday night? So I typed in like bars, local bars. We're in New York. And this is like one of the first ones to pop up. I'm like, oh, Barcade. Because I know Jason and I had mentioned like a Barcade is a great idea. So we went there and they had about 35 cabinets. Johnny, they had Strider.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought about you, man. I was like, oh, this game's sweet. They had, and here's the funny thing. Okay, I gravitate to the Donkey Kong machine. Okay, and I'm like, what's the high score? Well, the high score on Donkey Kong was 880,000 points.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, that's great. I mean, that's the thing about it. Over 1 million is the record. And so I look at the initials of who I got the high score. HSC, Hank Chen.
Ah.
Living in New York, put two and two together. I'm like, oh, talking about Hank. He said he's from New York area. That he goes to the local barcade and plays. Remember he was talking about that?
Yeah.
So I played on the same week. I played on the same Donkey Kong as Steve Wiebe, and the same Donkey Kong machine as Hank. And here's a cool thing: was they have like a little chalkboard where they have like all the high scores, right? And Donkey Kong, sure enough, it was Hank. Okay, so it was him, and they were selling his DVDs there too, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
Damn, so I gotta get his DVD.
I ordered it. $12.
You have to send a check in or what?
I had to send like Pony Express check. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So, but it was cool. And they had like local like brews on. They had this Brooklyn brew. Like they had a whole bunch of home brews there, or local micro brews, I should say. And they had this one brew that was like 10% alcohol. So, like 4 or 5 of those, I was feeling pretty good.
There you go, Johnny. There's your 10%.
Oh.
It says it on the label. It says it
we
on
were
the
talking,
can.
Hey, John, we were talking about this last time. Remember when I was up for PAX and I would buy beer in the States. We couldn't figure out what percentage it was. I couldn't because it's not on the can, and Jason didn't know either. Up here in Canada, it's 5%. Is it like 3.5 down there, 4%? Do you know?
It depends. There's some areas like you go to Utah, and there's some areas where it's only 3%. You know. And then you go to areas where it just doesn't, they don't give two shits. And microbrews are usually like a little stronger than like if you were to get like a Bud Light. You know, Bud Lights are usually about 3%, 3.5%. Yeah.
Bud Light. I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
but so like, okay, when I was in Seattle there and I bought like a 6-pack of Budweiser, what percentage is that? Do you know?
But Budweiser, yeah, about 3%, 3.5%.
What? Really?
Yeah.
In Canada, it's 5%. In Canada, it's 5%.
It might be. I don't know. I don't think it's that high though.
I'll bring my own bloody beer. Fuck next time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I like the Rolling Rock. No, but a really good time at the barcade. Just hung out there for quite a while. It was a Wednesday night and it was packed. It was really good to see. It was really busy on a Wednesday night, which is kind of an odd night to be busy. But they also had a Marble Madness arcade cab, which is cool. It's been a while since I played that game, and my wife killed it. She was great at that game. She got like the number, like I think it was like number fourth highest score or something on that thing. I was like, wow,
nice.
Who would have thought? So,
yeah.
But it was a good time, definitely. And those are kind of the games I've been playing. Like I've been gone. I've only been home like 2 nights the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm in Sacramento now, so I'm still not home.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Jason?
I've only been playing a few games here and there. Been playing some Duke Nukem 3D on the Xbox Live Arcade. Been actually going through the single player co-op with that with a few friends. My cousin Justin and Boosie. We all know him. He's here and there and around. Been doing that, and let's see. I did receive Need for Speed Shift in the mail for Xbox 360, so I've been playing that a little bit. That is definitely a fun game there. Excited for the Need for Speed Shift 2. And speaking of Need for Speed Shift 2, that was the game I did my sound design competition for, and I haven't heard anything yet. People have been PMing me wanting to know. Haven't heard anything yet. It's been this is the end of beginning of week 3 now. So hopefully we hear something soon. I can't imagine it take a whole month for them to pick a winner. But
I saw that clip you posted. The final, was that the final? The one they picked, or what?
That is, well, that's the official one from EA that they went with. So that's aside and separate from the competition. And actually, yeah, I posted that because I had someone PM me who worked at Blockbuster, and they said that they were giving him like sneak peeks at the trailer or something or other, and he listened to it, and he listens to the podcast, and he said, man, yours sounds very similar to this. Check it out. So I listened to it. I just find it really unique, actually, that mine sounds kind of similar. So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I put that on my Facebook for people to listen to and compare and give me their thoughts and whatnot. But anyway, there were like 300 submissions for it. Haven't heard anything back yet. Just a quick little update there on that. And then, let's see, other than those few games, I was doing some streaming on my emulator review channel, just doing some campaign on Bad Company 2. I'm getting real excited for Battlefield 3, let me tell you. That's about all I've been playing, really. Did some live streaming, played a few on the Xbox Live Arcade. That's about it. What about you, Mr. Pete?
Rift.
He's addicted.
Yeah, sadly, that's what's been eating up a majority of my time. The main reason is because I can't decide on what kind of character I want to play. I started off as a cleric, and then I'm like, screw this, I want to play a bard, so I went as a rogue, and I leveled that up. I took my cleric, the maximum level's 50. I took my cleric to level 26. I took my rogue to level 25. And now, just yesterday, I started on a warrior. And I got that up to level 17. I've got like 75 hours in that game already. Which, I'm having fun with it, though. It's a lot of fun. I applied for a guild that supposedly is for people age 30 and up. But I'm like, fuck it, I'll apply anyway. And I got accepted, which is good because I was in a couple other guilds on Ventrilo, and they all had drama, and they were some of them were kind of immature. So I'm happy I found a guild with some really cool people in there, which makes it a little bit more enjoyable. And yeah, I'm playing as a warrior, and I want to spec into being a tank. And Rift is a beautiful game. I just really enjoy exploring the world that it has. And now I see what it's like to play World of Warcraft. Only this game looks a lot better. It doesn't have that super deformed, cartoony look that World of Warcraft has.
Hey, Pete, what are we hearing about Final Fantasy 11? Is that like dead in the water now? Like,
No,
have you
a lot
heard
of people
anything about
still
that
play
lately?
that. A lot of people still play it.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm sure a lot of people went back to it after the failure of 14. But 11 has changed a lot over the past
So hey,
year.
sorry, you know what? Like, I'm ridiculous. I meant to say 14.
Oh, 14?
That's what. Yeah, where's that at?
Oh, I have no idea. No
I
one's
just wanted
like.
to know where things were at now. Well, that was
I think it's still free to play, honestly. Because if it's being charged, I know I never canceled my subscription, so they could be charging me for all I know. But I don't hear anything about. I actually talked to one person that's in my guild, and he was because he used to play Final Fantasy 11 a lot, so we got on the subject of that. He was on my server too, and he was saying that he's playing 14 and he really enjoys it a lot, and I couldn't understand why, but he said he's playing Rift now instead of 14. But yeah, I don't know. 14, I think, is for those of you hopefuls out there that think it's coming to PS3. I think you're wrong. I think it's done. But other than Rift, which, like I said, I've been playing that a ton. And for those of you that want to get Rift, now's the time to do it. Start off fresh while everybody's still learning the game. It's very new, user friendly. Look at me. I'm understanding it, and I never played World of Warcraft. I'm on the Endless server, ENDLESS. It's a PvE server. I'm not into PvP, and I'm not into role playing as far as I know. I also have been playing Ys Oath and Felghana on the PSP. I picked that back up again because I definitely want to finish it. So I played that for maybe like another hour and a half, and I just got to where the hell am I now? I'm a little bit past the part where I got to like an ice area and I killed these 3 succubi or whatever. The three like enemies with wings or something. It's some boss battle, I forget. But that'll tell you about where I am in the game. Or I just got the final and third ability in the game where it lets you charge and rush enemies, like in rocks and stuff, break rocks. So Johnny, you probably about know where I am maybe, or?
Yeah, you still have a bit to go for sure.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through the game, I think. But I'm enjoying that. My God,
you liking it? You're actually liking it, eh? Because would you say this is your first Ys game? I know you played E7.
First true. Yeah. I mean, I played Ys books 1 and 2 because of when I first discovered your channel because of that video. But this is like my first true Ys game that I've really delved into, and everything just comes together really nicely. The music is just phenomenal. The gameplay is really fast paced, which I love. The controls are good. My only complaint about the controls, though, are trying to attack in the air is freaking tough. Like trying to hit airborne enemies, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a bit strange. I'm with you on that for sure.
And sometimes, but this comes in the realm because it's a remake of an older game. Sometimes it's kind of hard to know where to go. It's like they don't directly tell you, okay, go here to advance the story. So sometimes I'm kind of left wandering
it's pretty old
around.
School. Yeah, it's pretty old school that way for sure.
And I've been trying not to use facts or walkthroughs or anything, but I'm really enjoying it. And I'd say, this being my first Ys game, this is an excellent one to start off with. Wouldn't you say?
I would. I haven't played Chronicles. I bought Chronicles. It's sitting there. I finished like so many versions of Ys books 1 and 2. I'm like, man, when am I going to get to the Chronicles? But I always like to say I personally always like to tell everybody to play Ys books 1 and 2 on the Virtual Console. It's a really wonderful start to the series. But if you want better graphics, per se, maybe go with Chronicles, and then go to Oath of Felghana, and then E7. I think that's a good direction to go on.
And you'd recommend that everybody avoid the DS versions of books 1 and 2?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah, for sure. Like everybody sees, the legacy of Ys and the DS. I bought it, and you start playing it, and it's a really inferior version of Ys. I'm sad to say the music is not great. And the graphics are okay. They're totally acceptable, no problem. Old school graphics, but just the layout, the map, I don't like any of it. I'm not a fan of it. I played a couple hours into it. I'm like, this isn't Ys to me. I don't know.
Well,
so stay away from that. Stay away from the DS version for sure.
I mean, that's about it for me. Unfortunately, yes, I am really, really enjoying my time with Rift. So that's all I've been really playing. But do not worry. Next episode, I will have my thoughts on the 3DS games because
we'll all have that, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have it on Saturday, and don't forget poor Jason. I'm sure he'll play John. So
He will.
Yeah, Jason, you come over, Dick. Come on over. We'll I'll charge you like $10 an hour to play it, or whatever. We'll make a deal out of it.
Ain't this some bullshit?
Sloppy
I'll rent
seconds,
it,
baby.
I'll rent it to you for a while. No. No, what I might do is I might do a live stream. I think I'm thinking about doing a live stream the day I pick it up, and then kind of do like a live unboxing, and then I'll do like a system review over it as well for my channel. But I don't know, make a big deal of it.
I would live stream the 3DS, but you can't stream 3D, and I want to play it in 3D. I want to ruin my eyes as much as I can, so I'm not going to be streaming 2D games.
Yeah.
It's tempting, maybe for an hour, just to show people the games, maybe. But that would mean I'd have to turn the 3D off, which is no fun. Another thing, we'll have to get our friend codes for Street Fighter, because supposedly getting online and playing one another is really easy to do, so I'll have to hook up, play some Johnny and John and that.
Yeah. I'm
Definitely.
in.
Hey, Pete, out of curiosity, speaking of Street Fighter, did you see the guy dressed up? There's a lot of people in cosplay.
Yes, I saw the guy dressed up as Chun-Li.
Chun-Li. Guy dressed up as Chun-Li.
There's always somebody. There's always one guy just as Chun-Li.
I don't know. It's way too much legs. That's all I'm saying. Way too much legs. But
I don't know what that means, but
no, like his legs were like, well, his outfit, you could see his O's. I'm trying to block it from my memory, but never mind. Let's move on.
Oh, that sounds
move on.
Hey,
move on.
you know, it's so funny. I've been to a lot of anime cons in my time, and a lot of game cons, stuff like that. And there's always one guy dressed up as Chun-Li, or one guy is Sailor Moon. And I don't know if they do it for attention or they just get their kicks off that. I don't know. It's so funny. There's always one person that does it. It's always one. So funny stuff.
That's funny.
Nothing but legs. Anything else, Pete?
That's it for me. What about you, Johnny?
For me, here's some kind of exciting news. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but there I was talking to a friend of mine at work last week, and I said, I'd say, hey, Derek, on the podcast, but I owe him big time, because I was talking to him. I said, damn it, we're talking about Third Birthday coming out, the new Parasite.
Jesus Christ, that comes out in like a week or two, right?
Yeah, it does. It comes out,
and the new Dissidia just came out too. I'm falling behind because of this 3DS.
There's always a lot of stuff coming out, really, though. So yeah, we were talking about that, and it was funny. It's the first time I've ever talked to him about video games, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm a huge Parasite Eve fan. I said, so am I. So we, hit it off like a house on fire, talking about, the Third Birthday coming out, all that stuff. And I said, yeah. I said, it's funny though. I said, I really wish I could play on my TV. And he's like, oh, but you can. I said, no. You can only play the PSP on your high def TV. He's like, well, no, if you hack it. Now, granted, I must say that some people came into the forums and said that, yeah, you can hack your PSP and hook it up to a standard definition TV, which I want to do. Because I think it'll make the graphics look like PS2 graphics on my TV. That's why I like my standard definition TVs as well at times. But I didn't know anybody who could hack my PSP. And I really don't want to do it. I don't have a PC. I don't want to get into all the issues of doing that. So he's like, yeah, he said, I did it with mine. He goes, I play it on my standard definition TV. It looks awesome. I'm like, oh, dude. I said, like, would it be too much trouble? Could you do that for me? He's like, yeah. He says, like, it's easy. It's like, no problem. So I actually have two PSPs, and I have one PSP just that I wanted to put onto the TV, which didn't work, that I bought used. And so he's like, yeah. So I lent it to him. I actually got it back today. I have not tried it, but that's what I'm going to do after the podcast. I'm just going to test out playing PSP games on the TV in the other room. That's going to be my little fun thing for the night. But so I'll be playing a lot of PSP games if this goes through and this works out. So he said he tested it. It works. So that's exciting news. I'm damn happy about that. But in playing video games, the only video game I've actually been playing, besides some stuff that I've been capturing for some videos I've been making, is Dragon Quest V. And I'm really, I'd say a little bit more knee deep into it than I was before. Whoa, did somebody die there?
No.
Oh, just got some feedback there. But anyway, so getting back to Dragon Quest V, very great game. One thing I like about, and Pete, you know how people have said that this is one of their favorite Dragon Quest games in the series?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it at first. I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, it just seems like, I don't want to say same old Dragon Quest, but it seemed pretty well like the same old Dragon Quest, which is a great thing. But I got to some points in the game that for the first time, I'd actually say for the first time I've ever had it, being emotionally moved in a Dragon Quest game. Now, granted, remember, these are like sprite-based characters. I'm not saying that you can't get emotionally moved these days, but it's a lot harder to, I'd say. And I actually was totally moved. I was blown away with some aspects of the story. And usually, Dragon Quest doesn't really have a storyline that makes you go, "Oh my god," or "Holy crap!" And this actual game does have that. So it's been really cool. I'm really liking it. Is it the best in the series to me? I can't tell yet, but it does have it's got some of the most emotional moments that I've ever seen in a Dragon Quest game so far. So, but anyways, I've been playing that. I'm about 25 hours in, loving it, thinking it's great, and I'm not moving on to another game till I finish it. I just can't do that anymore. This game has been haunting me for years. And people are saying, well, no, it just got released in the DS. Yeah, it did, but there's been fan translations of it. People kept gone through the game through the walkthroughs, and I have to do it, because if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. And it'll always piss me off. I don't want any more games haunting me in the middle of the night. And it's one that haunts me in the middle of the night, so we're going to get through it. So that's about it for me.
Moo moo. Nice. Moo.
Do we want to take some questions from the forums?
Sure.
It's
been a while since
we haven't hit
questions.
the forums, so let's get in there.
People think we hate the forums. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
No, I'm only kidding.
Oh, okay.
This question is from Jester Scott. Oh, and by the way, for those who are listening, wondering, where is this forum? How can they access this forum? Well, it's simple. Go to
AllGenGamers.com.
AllGenGamers.com.
Well, there's different ways. AllGenGamers.com, there's a link that says forum that'll take you directly to the Allgen Gamers forum.
Which is the easy breezy.
Yeah, that's the easy way.
Breezy.
Or the hard way that John recommends is go to Pete'sGamerInform.com and try and navigate your way to the Allgen Gamers section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like Gamester's way. I think I like Pete's way.
I like the AllGenGamers.com.
I like the hard way, because he's going to use that clip that sound. I just said the hard way, and they're going to put that into their
because life ain't easy.
Hard. Okay, so yes, go to AllGenGamers.com. There's a link. Whatever. So,
no, he's mad now.
Whatever. All right. So this question is from Jester Scott. And I figured I'd go a post here too. He says, I want to know what you guys think about knockoff game systems like the FC Twin. Personally, I think it's great that people are trying to keep the retro games alive, but you can't beat the original. Thoughts? I'll open it up. Anyone want to go first? You want me to start?
Start. Sure,
right.
Go for it.
So yeah, I own a handful of these clones. They call them clone systems. You have the FC Twin. You have the Retron 3, which will play Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So here are my thoughts of these systems. The original are better. If you're kind of looking to get into more retro and you don't have much money to spend, by all means get a clone system, but beware they don't always play all the games. Like games like the FX2 chips for the Super Nintendo don't always play on these systems, like Star Fox or Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island may not play on it. So there's some games it doesn't play for. Some of these controllers are weird. Like with the Retron 3, there's these wireless, they're kind of shaped like Genesis controllers. So it's kind of weird to play a Super Nintendo game using the Genesis controllers. That makes sense. So it's kind of weird. But they do have slots where you can plug in the original controller. But it's very hassle. It's a hassle to do that. So my point is, I'm trying to make, I know I'm going a really winded answer here, but if you don't have enough money to purchase the original games, by all means get a clone. But if you want to experience the true retro goodness, by all means purchase the original.
Goodness.
There you go.
Goodness.
Anyway, Pete, thoughts?
I do not own any clones like that. I don't have any FC Twins or triples or quadruples or any crap like that. But I don't. I'm not against them. If people want to buy them, I think that's great for convenience. So if you're short on space, I think it's really awesome. The ones that have, NES, Super Nintendo, all-in-one, stuff like that. But I do not own any. And that's basically just my lowdown on it. John, you covered basically most of it. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I agree with you, John. The clone systems are, let's break it down real quick. They're convenient, they're cheap, and they get majority of the job done. That's why they're so successful. Here's the only drawback is that the quality is not there. The controller, I haven't come across one clone system, and I don't have a lot. I've only had maybe 2 or 3 in my entire life, for convenience sake. The controllers are the worst part of the whole thing. They're just so cheaply made. And I love playing any of my games on an original controller. That's like a pet peeve of mine. I can't play on like third-party controllers. I just can't do it. I have to play on original. Well, except for the like the Hori mini pad for the Nintendo 64. That's like my favorite for that. But anyway, yeah, convenient, quick, easy to use, whatever. Build quality's not there. You got to go original if you want the true feeling there.
Agreed. And there are some cool like handhelds though, like Super Nintendo handhelds and Nintendo handhelds and Genesis handhelds, which are cool. But yeah.
Yeah, they make a few where like it has, what does it have? It has NES, Super NES, and Genesis for carts, like 3-in-1 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more convenient can you get on that? I mean, just have it to like quickly play a game or something. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, but you can't fade going original. What about you, Johnny?
I gotta say, I fucking hate them all, and I think they should all rot in hell. No, I don't really care. I agree with everything you guys said. Like, I had to say something negative because I ain't got anything. I totally agree with you. I remember back in the day I had... John, do you have one of these? One of the old Game Doctors? I'm sure you do.
Game Doctor? Are they the ones that you can rip ROMs to, or what?
Yeah, like I remember one of my friends, I guess it's kind of a clone thing in a way that you could play clone games on your
I don't have a Game Doctor. No. Wasn't it for the Super Nintendo or 64?
Super Nintendo, yeah. Well, how I even came to have it, one of my friends, he was such a cheap, I shouldn't say, he was a cheap guy. He didn't want to buy video games during the Super Nintendo, the later days of the Super Nintendo. And so what he did was he bought a Game Doctor from Hong Kong, and I thought he spent a lot of money on it, which was at the time like $300.
They were expensive when they came out, yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe it was even more than that. And I'm like, what the heck? Why would you do this? And then he was just downloading games off the internet, which was incredible back on the Super Nintendo days, and putting them onto discs and playing them. And I was like, wow. Or he'd go to the store, rent a game, and then copy it. And so he had like, I'd go to his place and he had like, I don't know, it may sound funny, but he had like 30, 40 games all on cards, and it was incredible stuff. I remember he had Donkey Kong Country the day it came out on cards. It was funny. But years later, he actually sent it to me. This is like in the PS2 days, the later PS2 days. All of a sudden it arrived for my birthday one time. I'm like, hey, cool. Because he knew I was a bit of a fan of that stuff. So, but I don't have any clone systems. No, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever buy a clone system. I'm just not. If anybody wants to get them for their own personal use, for sure, but not for me personally.
Moo moo.
Okay, I got one here from Ice Station Zero. He says, "What's up, all gen gamers? I was wondering, what is your opinions on using strategy guides? Do they ruin the game for you? Do they make you lazy? Are they a good thing? Thanks for all the magnificent work." And I guess I'll start on out since I read it. I like strategy guides. What I like to do first is I like to try to go through whatever game I'm playing without one first and try to find everything I can and find all the secrets and do everything that you possibly can, but get the experience the first time going through. For me personally, I wouldn't read a strategy guide before I play the game. I don't want to ruin any of it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I mean, there's enough of looking at teaser trailers and stuff online with games as it is. So you can, already see everything. But with strategy guides specifically, after I've exhausted the single player or whatever, I will then, if I want to do 100% of the game, I will go back and read through it. But I don't think it ruins the game at all. I think they're good to have. What about you, Johnny?
Oh, I got a lot to say about this. I actually, when I first started my channel, that was one of the first few videos I came up with was video game strategy guides. Because nobody had done that on YouTube at that time. And I've always been a collector of strategy guides. And I think why I bought strategy guides, because I wanted the artwork. I loved having the artwork. And, but also when I'm playing a role-playing game, I'm playing Dragon Quest V, and I have my Dragon Quest V strategy guide there. And when I'm going through a dungeon, I ain't got time to waste anymore. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I need to get here. Perfect. And I can do all my grinding and stuff like that. And I like to get everything in an RPG, especially like Dragon Quest V. I don't want to be grinding halfway across the dungeon going the wrong way. When I should have just gone right and just picked up the treasure chest right there. I don't want to be doing that. I don't have time to waste, as I say. But I love strategy guides. I love using strategy guides. I don't have a problem with it at all. Especially not in today's society where there's so many games, so little time. I love them. What do you think, Pete? What do you think?
I kind of agree. I'm kind of weird with strategy guides because these days I tend to only buy them for either a game that I really, really like, but for the most part, 75 to 80% of the time, I always buy it for an RPG because first of all, the strategy guides end up being more valuable than the game itself. And they're great to look through and they're useful because just like you said, I'm playing an RPG. Well, sometimes like some RPGs, I'll buy the guide and I won't refer to it unless I need to. Like to check a boss if I get stuck on a boss or something. Because sometimes I kind of hate sitting there and reading through every little thing while I'm trying to play the game. It would take me forever to get through. Some games I do that with though. Some games I read everything in the strategy guide as I'm going through. An example would probably be the Earthbound strategy guide, only because that was such an excellent strategy guide that I wanted to read.
Great strategy guide. It was awesome.
I wanted to read everything that's in there. But say the Final Fantasy 13 guide, I didn't use it until I needed it, which was until like almost the end of, well, probably the midpoint way of the game is when I started using the strategy guide.
Hey Pete, did you get one of those limited edition strategy guides for Final Fantasy 13?
Oh, of course. Yeah, the hardcover. Yeah, the hardcover I got.
Are they worth anything? I got 2 of them that are still sealed. I don't know.
You probably got to wait 5 to 10 years.
Or 10 years.
It'll take a while for them to go up in value. I mean, I've thought about buying doubles of guides because really, I mean, if you look at PS1 and Saturn era strategy guides, they are worth so much. Like, what's a good example? I don't know. Just say Valkyrie Profile, the PS1 strategy guide. It's probably not worth as much anymore because of the PSP version strategy guide, but that guide used to be worth so much money. The Xenogears strategy guide, just all these different guides were worth so much.
Did you know my prediction is, Pete? And I'm actually going to tell everybody in the audience this too. My prediction is that the Dragon Quest strategy guides for the DS games they're going to go up. They're going to go up. Just wait for it. So it's funny. My girlfriend was there the other day. She's playing Dragon Quest 6, and she's like, "Oh, she's like, you got this Dragon Quest 6 strategy guide." I'm like, "Please be careful with it. I think it's going to be worth something." You know, for sure.
Yeah, I've picked up I've picked up every guide for every Dragon Quest I've bought so far, so I'm heading down the right path with that. And they're big, they're bulky. You get a lot of content for $20.
Oh, it's worth it.
Yeah, so that's my stance with strategy guides. I don't even remember what the heck the original question was, but I think I covered it. What about you, John?
I love strategy guides to wipe my ass.
Yeah.
No,
John, no, John, no.
No, I thought I'd be negative for once. No, actually, I don't know. I think for collector purposes, sure. I agree with what you guys say. I think it makes more sense for it to be RPG kind of genre of game for a strategy guide because it wouldn't make sense, for really other genres that I can think of, like first person shooters, really. But
here's a good example, real fast.
Yeah.
Like they came out with a strategy guide for Little Big Planet. Now let me say one thing. I bought quite a bit of strategy guides. The strategy guide for Little Big Planet 1 had to be the most useless guide I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a game where it's about your creativity and they're like telling you what to do, and the tutorial in there, like to try and tell you how to make levels, is in the game itself in video form. So why would you want to look at a book to do it? I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. Some guides are useless.
I agree. And back in like the 90s and 80s and 90s, what I would do is I would purchase guides because they would help me, or I'd call the 1-900 number that they had and, talk to someone that could step me through stuff. But today you have the internet at your disposal. So like if I'm stuck, like I'll give an example. I was playing God of War 3 and there's certain areas where I was stuck. Like I couldn't get past this one boss, and I just went on to YouTube and saw some gameplay on how they defeated it, and it was good.
Yeah,
I just think as far as like collector purposes, I think they're useful. They're beautiful. I mean, they put a lot of artwork into them. They're cool to have for collector purposes, but for stuff like if I'm stuck on the stuff, and I just go online and look. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, okay.
So I just want to bust in here. Hey Pete, the Dragon Quest V strategy guide is going for $31. There's only one on eBay right now. It's got 9 bids on it.
Wow.
My prediction was correct. Yeah, I knew it.
What about Dragon Quest 4?
I think I saw that too. Let me have a look.
How about Maids with Balloons?
The Maids with Balloons strategy guide. It's a special edition, so it's like gold plated, and it comes with actually a pack of balloons. Yeah, it's amazing.
It comes with balloons.
It comes with some coupons. And if you send in the coupons, you actually get a maid that comes over to your house and has sex with your younger brother. So it's pretty good.
Only your younger brother.
It's a good birthday gift.
As long as you get to watch, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dragon Quest IV guide. I'm finding one here. That's going for it's going for no less than $30. Buy it now for $30. Yeah, they're gonna be worth a lot. I knew it. It's funny.
Hey, just on a side note, guys, I just want to just jump in. This is completely off topic. I just got a PM from Luke Morris. He's in Japan.
Yeah,
and he just wanted to say something real quick. He says, "Thanks for the kind words." I sent him a PM saying I hope he's okay because obviously the tragedy over there. He said the quakes haven't stopped. They are much weaker in magnitude than before, but still constant every day. Only thing to do is just try to keep life back in order and go every day like we're all used to. Quite difficult though, but trying. So I just want to say my thoughts and prayers are with Japan. And this what's going on. So definitely. I don't want to put a downer on the podcast by all means, but I just wanted to jump in there and let you guys know because I know a lot of listeners follow Luke. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
Yeah, Luke is fine. Absolutely. He's totally well.
Yeah.
Now back to questions.
Yeah, no. Thank you. Sorry.
Here's one. This is from Chaos Star. He says, "Hey guys, what's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to games?" And this is a funny one. I'm actually going to bring this up, and I think you guys could maybe agree with this. This is a really funny one. This really pisses me and Rob off. It drives us bananas. And when you buy a game and you're looking forward to the game, you're like, yes, awesome, I can't wait. You get the game is awesome, everything. There's no problem with the game itself. There's no problem with the case itself or the packaging. You don't get the Formidable edition. Everything's great. And then you open it up, you take out the strategy guide, and it's in black and white. Oh, good God. As a collector, I hate that.
Cutting costs.
It pisses me off. You always know, like,
that brings me into something I wanted to mention to you guys. Did you guys hear that EA is announced they're not going to do manuals anymore? It's all download.
I did hear that.
Well, you know what? It's better than a black and white manual. So good riddance to manuals if they're just going to, sure, if they want to do that, that makes a lot of sense. I just think to myself that I know back in the day, and I've looked at a lot of older games. A lot of older games do not. I'm not saying that older games had, color manuals all the time. They sure didn't. But man, sometimes there's some big blockbuster games. And I'm like, yes. It's usually Capcom games too. You open up, you're like, cool. And you're like, oh, black and white. Damn. I don't know. Me and Rob have actually talked about it for hours on end. We used to psychoanalyze which companies did it for what reasons, and it was really funny. But I don't know why. That's a funny one. That's a funny pet peeve, and I'd say that's actually for me and Rob. I think we can both agree on that. What do you think, Pete? What's your pet peeve about gaming?
Oh, geez, I've been trying to think. I'd probably say, just off the top of my head, a game that I'm really looking forward to, and I pick it up and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to play the multiplayer, and there's no freaking multiplayer.
Oh man.
A game like, here's a good example. That Samurai Warriors game, Ridge Racer on the 3DS, right? That was my most anticipated 3DS title. Like, I was hyped up for it because I love the Ridge Racer games. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be so much fun to play online. And then, they kept it kind of quiet. It was kind of like, everybody thought there'd be online for it because, welcome to, today. Every game is having online. But Ridge Racer 3DS has no online play. Like, what the hell? That just pisses me off to no end. A game like that needs online. So, what about you, John?
My pet peeve of gaming is when you're playing like old school Nintendo game and there's like no continues, and you're at a level where like it's freaking hella hard. They make it impossible. Like Adventure Island comes to mind. There's some stages in Adventure Island that are just like freaking hard, and that's just a really big pet peeve of mine where they make the game just enormously frustratingly hard, and they don't really put any continues to it.
Yeah.
So, Jason.
A big pet peeve of mine is when like you drink coffee in the morning and like you don't finish it or whatever, so you have like a half cup of coffee, and then at night like you go to like dump it out or whatever, and you dump it out in the sink, and it just goes like all over the sink, and you don't turn on the faucet to rinse it off.
No. Oh, I agree with you, Jason.
Terrible, man.
Every night it happens to me.
And I'm like, I walk up, and guess what? If you leave it, it fucking dries up. Then you have to do elbow grease to get it off, people.
It's totally true.
Here's another idea. What you could do is you could turn the faucet on and wet the sink first.
Exactly.
Then dump it, and we'll have a better time cleaning it up later if you can't be lazy and just dump it all in the middle of the drain and not splash it anywhere.
It almost makes it enjoyable.
That really just
drives me,
runs my balls through a nut grinder, I'm telling you. But I guess related to gaming, I really hate retailers putting stickers that don't come off. That don't come off.
GameStop.
Yeah, not to name names. You know what's fucked up with them? And here we go again. I'll say they put 3 stickers on their games. They put one on the front. They usually put one on the back at the bottom over the barcode. And they put one inside the plastic slip.
Of course they do. Yeah.
They put 3 of them. And their stickers aren't too bad. Okay, I'll give them that. They come off with, relatively easy. But there's a lot of retailers that, for some reason, the stickers that they use, they just don't come off. And I hate them. That really bothers me.
Game suck.
I have right here in the room with me, I have rubbing alcohol, Q-tips, and wipes. Every game that I buy that comes in, I peel the sticker off. If there's any residue, I pull out my duct tape, and I try to duct tape to get the residue off. I wrap my hand in it, pull it off. Then I get the wipe, and I go rubbing alcohol over the sticky residue, and I clean it, and I clean the whole case, and I let it dry, and then I wipe it down again, and then I put it up in the shelf. I'm that anal, that picky. Oh, anal. I hope they use that one.
Sticky residue, anal. Boy, we're giving them all kinds.
Yeah, we're giving.
So anyway, but that's a huge pet peeve of mine. Stickers, and I guess the second close would be not retail cases, like rental cases or something. I just hate them.
Oh, I hate that.
While we're talking about GameStop rants, they're not doing midnight release for 3DS either.
No, they're not. No.
That's
now
stupid.
that you brought it up, now you just reminded me. Here's what I'm really pissed off about. Okay, everybody knows I'm going to Nintendo World for the 3DS launch, but right there in New York City, the Best Buy in New York City is getting like the big extravaganza 3DS party, and so far Nintendo World has announced nothing. So Best Buy is getting. Let me see if I can bring up the goddamn site. Let me see if I can.
Oh, he's pissed.
And another pet peeve of mine is
fucking lose it.
Hold on. Let me bring it up. I'm pretty mad here.
He's
pissed.
fucking pissed.
He's fuming. I'm scared, guys.
Cue the Mortal Kombat.
All right, so let me see if I can read this off here. All right. New Yorkers are invited to leave their 3D glasses at home permanently and join Nintendo of America for a memorable midnight launch event for the new Nintendo 3DS handheld system on March 26th at Best Buy's Union Square location. Consumers and video game fans of all kinds will be treated to live entertainment, branded giveaway items while supplies last, and hands-on demonstrations of the new system, which lets users enjoy 3D visuals without the need for special glasses. Food trucks will also be on site to offer refreshments throughout the event. Starting at midnight, attendees will have a chance to be among the first U.S. consumers to have the 3DS. The first 300 attendees to purchase the system will receive a special carrying case. Oh wait, now here's another thing. Here's the highlights of the event. Hundreds of fans camped out in front of Best Buy in Union Square for a chance to be among the first U.S. consumers to get the 3DS. Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé and Best Buy President of America's Michael Vitelli welcome consumers to the official Nintendo 3DS launch event. Attendees joining together for a midnight countdown at launch approaches, enthusiastic crowds tossing their 3D glasses into the air to celebrate the arrival of 3DS. Live in-store performance by one of New York City's hottest bands, the Hotcakes. Families and friends using the Nintendo 3DS camera to snap 3D photos of each other. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, they're having this big party there with freaking food trucks and shit outside. And what does Nintendo World get? Apparently nothing.
Limp Dick Miyamoto.
I mean, and it's a midnight launch and fucking Reggie's going to be there, and I swear to God.
What is he doing over there?
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This is bullshit.
Here I am at Best Buy.
Nintendo World is getting Pete motherfucking Door.
Yeah,
this is true.
I mean, the only thing that if let's say Nintendo World doesn't get anything, like, for the first people in line, no food, no drinks, which I would be kind of surprised if there wasn't any food or drinks for them to bring out or anything like that. I think the fans at Nintendo World be a little bit more enthusiastic Whereas there's probably going to be resellers and shit at Best Buy. Who the hell knows? I think Nintendo World overall, even though there won't be the party there, the people there will probably be better to hang around with.
Okay. This doesn't make any sense to me.
I know.
Like, just doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Reggie down the street at Best Buy?
Then, Best Buy must be paying a ton of money to Nintendo for this. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know what the fuck the deal is. That's so weird. Yeah.
Like the official 3DS launch event, and they're all going to be at Best Buy and not Nintendo World.
You guys, it's clear.
Fuck.
You guys know the answer here is clear. I know exactly why Reggie's there. Food trucks.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
He's getting his grub on.
Oh yeah.
I don't care though. I'm still super excited. We're leaving here. I'm going with my friend Aaron. Everybody knows him as the guy with dreads in the videos. We're leaving at like 6 a.m. We're gonna pass by there probably around 8 a.m. and see if there's a line. If there's no line, we're gonna hang out a bit and come back later if there is a line. I actually just off of Amazon today, I ordered my lounge chair, fold-up chair for the line. It's actually gonna be here by Thursday, yeah. So it was only it was like $25 and I had credit from reserving games, so it was free. So that works out. Yeah, but super excited. Actually, Johnny, how do you plan on getting? You just picking it up on launch day?
I'm going down to my local game spot, if you want, GameStop or whatever. Over here, it's still Electronics Boutique, right? It's still EB Games. Yeah, it's still so. I phoned them again just to make sure. But I'm going to go down there at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. And that's when they open. And that's when I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. I got to say, I'm looking forward to it. You guys have already played it. No, I wouldn't say you guys have been screaming this is the greatest thing ever. But I'm definitely
could be once I get my hand on more games, Yeah. I've only had really brief impression. Honestly, though, the killer is because when I play handhelds, I'm always constantly I'm just changing position. I can't really sit in the same spot for too long. So constantly having to change the way I sit with the 3DS, and comfortably have to look at it straight on. That's going to probably be my biggest thing. Also, the D-pad is very oddly placed. If they ever release a game that's going to use the D-pad for movement, it's going to be very awkward because that thing is sitting in the bottom left-hand corner of the system. So your hand's going to be hanging off. Your thumb's going to be in a very awkward position. So see how that goes.
I'm telling you, getting back to it, I think they've got a little secret in Nintendo World. Don't you agree, Jason, that it's Nintendo World? From everything that, they've had so many events there before. It's not like they've never had an event there. Then it'd be like, okay, it's just a dud place. It certainly isn't. They've got to have something planned. Miyamoto's going to come out of a cake naked and fuck somebody's face. I'm not kidding. Totally.
Something has to happen there, yeah.
He'll be crying at the same time,
And Reggie's going to be porking his face down the street at Best Buy. This just can't be.
He's going to be coming back down with a box full of donuts going, oh.
Check out all these burritos I got. They're fucking awesome.
That's so weird. I don't understand why he wouldn't be at Nintendo. It's strange. I don't know. It's weird.
I guess he's trying to strengthen relations with Best Buy. I don't know.
Yeah, but do they really need to do that?
I don't know.
Well, don't forget all the Best Buys are getting the exclusive demo machines as well. So something's going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Money.
Of course.
Money.
Yeah.
But I hope, Pete, I hope something does happen because you are going to wait there. And fuck the food trucks. Let Reggie eat all the donuts.
I'm kind of trying to figure out what the food trucks are like. Fuck that.
They're going to have a big, large countdown clock to count down to the release of it.
New Year's.
You know what it's going to be?
Yeah.
I can see it right now.
Wait, listen to the craziest thing. The Empire State Building is going to be lit up red for the 3DS launch near Best Buy.
Wow.
Talk about drama.
This shit is, listen, do you guys think that these are really going to sell out?
Yes.
Quick?
Yeah. I read in the newspaper USA Today, in today's paper, big article saying 3DS, it's going to be gone. They're shipping 4 million systems. It's going to be gone. It's going to be hard to find. They said the Japan systems right now are selling for $500 on eBay. There's going to be a huge demand.
Wow.
Interesting.
God, I really want to get one.
I don't know, Jason. Maybe do it as an investment. Buy
you know what? I'm not going to be able to get one for forever if I don't get one now.
Yeah. Wait, do this. Buy one now, Jason, and sell it on eBay. You'll get your money back and $250.
Yep. Or Jason, you can just come over and watch me play it.
Sloppy seconds, baby.
Only if we can sit there and play it nude together.
That's the only way I play it.
Okay.
No, but anyway,
No, but I'm worried about it though. If I don't get one now, though, I'm really not going to get one for like at least another 6 months to a year.
Right.
Jason, I guarantee there's so many people listening to the podcast that are not going to get one. They're on the fence about it. I know Rob's on the fence about it. He's not going to get one.
Well, I'm not on the fence. It's so expensive for me right now.
It's expensive for anybody. It is an expensive machine. Nobody's saying that.
Don't forget though. Once you get the 3DS, you'll have a back catalog of tons of DS games you can play as well because you haven't had the DS. So,
although according to you, Pete, that the games don't play as well on the.
No, but still.
Here's what you do: you open up a PayPal donation button. Hey, donate to Jason Heine, cause for 3DS.
Make my eyes bleed.
I doubt anybody would donate to that. I don't know.
Ridge Racer, Asphalt 3D.
Shut up, Pete. Fuck, I want it.
I'm telling.
Easily, I'll spend $400 easily.
Oh, easy.
Easy. That's just with like a few games.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I just
now,
can't.
Do you know what? Don't worry
right
about
now.
it, Jason.
I know, but okay. Well, I'll drop it. We'll move on. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
So getting back to it. So it's.
Let me go wet my sink.
Yeah. Best Buy that night. There's going to be the sun shining over it. There'll be rainbows. There'll be birds flying over it. Reggie's voice will be echoing into the distance. Everybody will be crying. They're so happy. Then boom, back to Nintendo World. It's dark. The streets are wet. It's raining. Pete's sitting there crunched over there. Becoming a hulk of a man going, ugh.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're going to get some reward for that.
They have to have some kind of merch or something they're going to hand out,
some stupid bag or something. Who knows? We'll see.
Keychain or.
It'll be worth it. And hey, Pete, are you going to go stream live from there?
If there's I'm going to bring my netbook. If there's a wireless connection out there that's unsecured that has a decent connection that'll allow me to stream, I'll do it. Yeah.
You can find that out, from Nintendo if they get a Wi-Fi there.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I can call and ask them, but they probably wouldn't know.
I doubt they'd have a Wi-Fi. They'll be open for public use.
Can you phone and ask them if they were doing anything special for the Nintendo 3DS launch? I'm sure they'd tell you.
I doubt they'd say anything. I would have been announced.
Okay.
Unless they're not announcing it because they don't want a crazy line.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Any other questions?
This one's from Comeback Kid.
Okay.
He wants to know what's up with Johnny's pronunciation of the Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
Saturn?
Enough said.
Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn. Do you know what? I think it's actually part of my my old English accent comes through in that one. It's funny. There's a couple of words that I say that really Sega Saturn. It's kind of like Sega Saturn.
Like Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Sega Saturn. So if I say the American one, Sega Saturn.
It's made with satin.
Yeah, but Pete, you say some words too that you can tell are a little different too, Pete.
Like which ones do you know?
Tournament. No, you don't say
tournament.
Tournament. You say tournament.
Tournament?
Or so you say someone.
What are you talking about,
dude? I swear, earlier to this episode, this podcast, go back and play back. I guarantee you don't say tournament. You say like tournament, or you say something weird.
Tournament.
Yeah.
I don't say it like that. I don't think. Tournament.
I'm in a tournament, motherfucker.
Tournament.
Dragoon Saga.
Sega Saturn. Is that how I'm supposed to say it?
It's made of satin.
Right? Sega Saturn! It's a Sega Saturn. It's beautiful and it's satin.
Let's get into Love Talk. So it's that special time of the podcast where we get into Love Talk with Johnny Millennium. Johnny, Dr. Love, what's going on?
Wow, your voice is extra sexy tonight, Mr. Gamester.
I'm fucking horny.
It's been a while, that's how we fly.
It's been a while. I know, I hear you.
All right, Dr. Johnny. Should money ever be effective? Oh, by the way.
You never get to right. I need a new announcer.
Hey, this is by Minute Poor. questions by Midpour. Okay. Should money ever be an effective solution to swaying the ladies? I mean, dishing out the Benjamins or making it known that your wallet is deep. We're not talking about a one-night stand here. Your fan, the fellow Fantasy Star fan, Johnny, to you.
Wow, this is a question I think a lot of people think about, and a lot of people become very self-conscious about. And so, thank you, Midpour, for bringing this up. And he asked, should money ever be an effective solution to swaying the ladies? So, I'm guessing, like, if you're out with a woman, should you spend a bit of money on them? Because women like having money spent on them? That's, I think this. I really think this. When you go out for a first date, if you ask the girl out, you say, hey, do you want to go out? You know, I think a nice thing to do would, if you ask her out, would be to say, hey, yeah, let's go out for a movie. Pay for the fucking movie. I understand that. But, you know, when you get past that initial fluff bullshit, okay, when you get over that, it should be an equal stream. Like, you shouldn't be paying for everything. You're not like, you know, like the sugar daddy. You should never want to be, or, you know, but I think you should date a woman who's interested in you. I don't think a woman, you should be like flaunting the money going, yeah, I got a great job. I got a lot of money. Yeah, you like me, right? No, I don't think that's really a good thing, because, you know, the reality is there are some big stars out there that have like millions and millions of dollars, and they have like fucking terrible relationships, you know? So I don't think money is the solution to women and, you know, successful relationships. But I don't think you should be cheap either, but I don't think you should be, you know, be ridiculous spending, like, every time you go out with this girl going, oh, I'll buy you this and I'll buy you that. I think it should be an equal street, but I think you should have some respect if you ask the girl out. If she asks you out, hell yeah, she should pay. What do you guys think? I know, Jason, you're going to absolutely agree and say that's 100%, right?
100% correct.
Yes. Totally.
I think 2 words, prenup.
Well, what do you, Pete? If you met this girl that you really like, are you going to spend a lot of money on her? Like, if you ask her out, yeah,
that money could be going to games right there. Well, okay, here's the thing: if she was a gamer, we'll hit up GameStop. We'll buy some games.
Okay. Here's a fake situation. Okay. Oh, hello, Pete Dora. I listen to your podcast and I love it. And I watch all your videos and I've fallen madly in love with you. And I want to start a relationship with you. And I know every time I phone you never pick up the phone because you're always playing SOCOM. I was wondering, can I play SOCOM with you? Well, the only problem is I can't afford the game.
Well, I mean, in that case, I'd buy it for sure. But when it comes down to...
Oh,
when it comes down to games, that's okay.
I know what voice I need to use on Pete when I need SOCOM. This is Jessica! I really love SOCOM. No, I don't think, back answering the question, and I think is the answer to the question, no, money should not, is not an effective solution to swaying the ladies. Maybe ladies of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the point is, don't go out of your way to like over the top to like impress them with money, because in the long run, that's going to burn you and you become poor, right? Yep. But I think I think it's appropriate, like maybe if you ask a girl on a date, I think it's appropriate that you do pay for the dinner and flip the bill.
It would be messed up if you didn't.
Right? Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and she puts up the sex at the end, right? Because you paid for dinner. So,
she puts out, so it's like prostitution. So you're not really paying her.
Exactly, it's modern day prostitution.
Paying her, if you get my drift. You're not really paying her cash, but you're paying her in other ways.
Exactly.
So exactly. Okay.
We're kidding about that sex thing. That should come on the second date, just so you know.
Never on the
I'm
first.
kidding again.
Never on the first date.
Never on the first date. Sure. So, anyways, that is my answer for this week. Please keep asking Love Talk questions in the forums on All Gen Gamers. Click on there, go in there, and you'll definitely see the forum in there. Ask questions. Ask really fucking nutty questions. Don't worry about it. Don't hold back. The more crazier the question, the more crazier the answer.
From Dr. Love.
Nice.
I'm Dr. Love. Until next time.
It's been a while since we've done a love talk. It's
Speaking of the Sheraton Seattle.
Yeah.
Good times. All right.
Funny.
So on to Gaming Piece Theater.
Do it to it.
So, okay. Now I got to start because, okay.
So can I take a piss? I need to take a piss.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Can you record it?
You know, I the fucking extension cord was long enough, I would.
I really want to get a 3DS. I'm so pissed.
Ridge Racer.
Shut up, Pete.
Ridge Racer. Yeah, I'm going to pick that shit up just to taunt it in front of you, dude. Hold that. Dude,
You
look what I got.
You should just sell like. Don't you have like one thing that you just sell and buy it?
I'm selling a bunch of stuff right now, trying to make some money.
I'll buy one of those Nintendo.
Cool, $100, $200. I
SP
mean,
with the light.
Yeah, SP.
$200.
$200.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Well,
Wait, sorry.
you said you'd buy one. I mean, I'm trying to get a 3DS, man.
I'll suck your dick.
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
Yeah,
I'll suck your dick, man.
Funny, man. I was watching those movies a couple of months ago. So
Classic.
funny. Yeah, they are classic.
Nice.
Okay, sorry, gaming piece.
Welcome to another episode of Gaming Piece Theater with Gamester81. Gamester, what piece of gaming history are you going to share with us today?
Gaming Piece. So, you guys, it's been a while since we've done Gaming Piece. This question is from Chris Fanner. And he wants to know about a system. Now, I want to let you guys guess the system because I'll give you some hints. See if you guys can guess it.
Yeah.
Started development in 1984, and it was officially announced in 1986, but didn't come out until 1991. It's a CD-based system. You guys with me so far?
Yeah.
It's interactive.
CDI?
Yes, the CDI.
Thanks
So
for
we're
letting me
talking about
guess.
CDI.
I am the winner.
Congratulations. So this is we're talking about the Philips CDI, and this is kind of an interesting system because it came out in 1981. It retailed for, get this, $700
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
back in 91. This is 20 years ago. $700 even now is so we were talking about the 3DS being $250. Good Lord, this is crazy. $700. But it's also interesting because the backstory of how this system came into development is kind of an interesting story because we got to go back into Nintendo and with the Super Nintendo. And what was happening with the Super Nintendo was they were working with Sony to come out with the Nintendo PlayStation, which was going to be a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo, right? That ended up, Sony wanted to have rights to the games and they couldn't agree on a contract as far as who got paid what. So Nintendo said, fuck you, Sony. And what happened was Sony left, and we know what happened to Sony. They created the PS1, and we know that took off pretty well, right? At that point, Nintendo was still interested in creating a CD attachment. They contacted Philips, okay? And same thing with similar to Sony, they couldn't come up with an agreement. And so what ended up happening was Nintendo, they scrapped the whole idea, and Philips ended up making the CDI based on that technology. Okay, did you guys know that? Yes, no, probably. Okay, cool. But here's kind of the interesting about the whole thing with Nintendo is it was through the whole process, there was some kind of agreement where they could actually Philips had like rights to certain Nintendo characters for games. So what happened was the CDI was released, and they created 3 Zelda games for the CDI.
Oh, yeah. The classic.
Yeah.
Classic. You always see the YouTube poops or whatever on it,
Yeah.
But they're terrible games. They're not developed by Nintendo. In fact, Nintendo will not officially recognize them as official Zelda games because they're not developed by Nintendo. They're developed by Philips. But there's also one Mario game. It's called Mario Hotel Mario, whatever. And that's kind of a weird. I did a video on my channel a long time ago with some gameplay. Kind of weird. But the Zelda games themselves are really tacky. 2 of them are kind of like a side scroller. The animation's terrible on the game. But there is one called Zelda Adventures, which is really rare. One of the hardest games to find on CDI. And that's actually more of a top-down Zelda game. And that's actually pretty decent from my understanding. I've never played it. But I don't know, Pete, if you've ever seen it.
Terrible.
I've been after it, actually. I had a bid on that game even before I have a CDI because it looks actually pretty interesting. Unfortunately, after the Angry Video Game Nerd did his video on the Zelda series on CDI, drove the price up on that game like double, triple. It used to be, honestly, I remember eBay used to be able to get it for like between 80 and 100 max. I see that game go up to like 300 now.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so that's a game I've been hunting for as well, and I'm not going to pay $300 for that game because it's one of those games where it's cool to have because you have it, but the replay value is not that strong. And, I'd rather have a 3DS, right, for that price and some games. But there's different models of the CDI. Now you have the 200 series, which would be basic your consumer market level for home market. The CDI wasn't just for games. It played movies, VMUs or VF. What's it? Whatever. But
FMV.
FMV. Thank you. I can never fucking remember that. FMV. Thank you. It played that, and it also played audio CDs and all that good stuff. So it wasn't necessarily just for gaming. Okay, but the 200 series was for home consumer. The 300 series is actually they had some portable CDIs, which were like handheld CDIs, which are pretty rare. You had the 400 series, which was more for a slimmed down budget one, which were for like schools and education purposes. Like you could watch movies like Voyage of the Mimi on the CDI, or you can watch classic educational films on the CDI. Or you also had the 600 series, which was more for like professional workplace, so a little bit more expensive, more advanced features. So there's different markets to it. There's only about 500 something thousand were sold. Didn't sell very well. They discontinued it in 1998. It poorly designed. Only one controller port. The controllers are interesting. It's a stretch to even call them controllers, to be honest with you. And they're in the back of the system, which doesn't make much sense as far as design flaw goes. It's weird. Short length of the controller. So overall, not a very good system. It's considered a gaming system because there are some games for it. And there's some decent games for the system. They're not all bad, but for the most part, it's more of a kind of a commodity.
Or they're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad, yeah.
John, it's funny. I remember back in the day, like on a Saturday afternoon, the TV commercial came on for the CDI, and that commercial was like maybe I'm wrong. It felt like a 40-minute commercial. Like it was like an infomercial, like TV little spot, and it was like so long. And it'd be like one guy standing there looking up at a screen, and I think some guy on the screen was talking to him, and the guy was on trial or something. I kind of forget. We're talking 1991 here, and I remember looking at it going, wow, that's kind of cool, Bumba. I remember as soon as I heard the price, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, $700 was, a godly amount of money to spend for it. So that is Game Piece Theater. That is over the CDI. Keep
What the fuck happened there?
What?
It all cut out.
It cut out.
Yeah, gaming.
My mic. Okay, so that is Gaming Piece Theater. Thanks for listening and thanks for posting questions.
John, real quick, how many versions do you have? Just one version of the CDI, or do you have multiple?
I have multiple. I have a version. What do I have? I have a 400 series CDI, which is more for the educational purposes. And I have two of the 300. I have two of the portable ones. So. Can you guys hear me?
Does that excite you, Pete?
Okay.
Very much, yes.
I'm excited. I'm kind of getting excited.
You guys are all quiet. I'm like, guys, can you guys
we like doing that too.
Sometimes we'll just be quiet and we'll let you talk and do nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Oh, but there were several manufacturers of the CDI. Just one real quick. Magnavox, Gold Star, and even, you know what? Even Sony made a portable CDI player. Did you know that?
No.
Yep. And good luck finding one of those because those probably are pretty rare. Pete, do you have a CDI?
I do not. That's actually one of the few systems left that I really would love to own. Just for I don't know. There's something about the CDI. I know there's not many games on it, but it's just a system I've wanted for quite a long time. Mainly for the Zelda games, really, and Hotel Mario and Seventh Guest, and I know you can play Seventh Guest on other systems, but I'd want to play it on the CDI for some reason.
Well, actually, Seventh Guest was only available on CDI and on Mac and on PC, whatever but it wasn't ported to other home consoles. So,
right. Another thing too would PC games is I finally tried because I can't run. I have Vista and 7, so I can't really run XP games on my computers. I downloaded a virtual XP system for my computer to try and play those games, and I tried playing Wizardry 8 with it. It wasn't working. It was like the game wasn't laggy, but the mouse cursor was laggy. So I don't know how to fix that. If anybody knows, message me. I downloaded from the official Microsoft website the virtual XP browser, or whatever the hell they call it. And I installed the game on there, but the mouse has like a full second delay. So if you know how to fix that, let me know.
We're being quiet for you too for a second, just to kind of make you think. How do you like it? Kind of awkward.
How do you like it? Kind of awkward.
That's good. Send me those sound clips. I must have them.
All right. Well, that was episode 35.
Wow, it's already over.
It's been good. Oh, Pete, I want to play SOCOM with you.
So quick teaser for episode 36. Hopefully we can get the guest on.
Oh, we will.
But it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing if we get that guest. Oh yeah.
Oh, that guest, yeah.
Oh, that guest.
Jason's at it again.
Jason is a wonder machine.
Jason's got it hooked up.
Wondrous. So yeah, hopefully for next episode we'll have a wondrous guest.
Do we want to drop one little hint as to what it might be?
No.
I would give it away.
Give it away. So no, nothing said. Because Jason told us tonight before we did the podcast who he was thinking about getting on, and we were floored. I'm still floored. You made my week. So.
Like, I want to talk to him right now. Honestly, I want to record this shit now.
And I just want the audience to know, because everybody always says, "Oh, did you get the angry video game nerd?" Let me just say this.
I put that to rest.
I'm gonna put that to rest right here. I wrote to the angry video game nerd, and nice enough guy. Never heard back from him. And but you have to understand, we've talked about it, that he probably gets asked to be on a lot of different podcasts, so he doesn't know who we are. He doesn't give a fuck, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's got a busy life as well. So, and remember, he's got like 500,000 subscribers. He's in a realm that I can't even imagine what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know? So, we wrote to him. So for right now, no. But hey, if any of you guys want to say, hey, write him back, write to him and tell him to write us back. Sure, you can go ahead. But don't
spam him. I mean, that's not cool.
Don't spam him. But if you happen to talk to him or something like that, just mention that we did try to get in contact with him, and and we ate static. So,
and same with Classic Game Room too. Mark from Classic Game Room, we tried that too. So I tried sending him a PM, never heard back.
Yeah, so it happens.
It happens. They're big time.
They're big time. Us, we're little time. They're big time.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's all have fun. Let's all have fun at the Nintendo 3DS launch. Oh, except for Jason. Ouch. So sorry about that. Ooh, that's a stinger.
Ooh, burn.
You know what's fucked up? I want to come take a shit in your room at the Sheraton and leave it in there.
You know what? I want you to do that.
I'm going to leave it.
I'll actually put a sign on the door that says, "Take a free shit here."
Someone opens the door. There I am in there. What? Taking a shit. What?
No, I'm only kidding. I'm sorry that you're not going to pick one up, but you will get Gamester's sloppy seconds. That'll be beautiful and tasty.
Tasty. Can I have a bagel?
Yeah.
Pete, shut your mouth. I hear you over there.
Pete's going to be having
over
sex
there going,
with Miyamoto in the bathroom.
Ridge Racer. Asphalt 3D.
Super Monkey Ball even has a racing mode in it with supposedly 4-player online Wi-Fi.
Good God, call the president. Somebody get the I'm telling you, Pete, something's going to happen at Nintendo World. Something like strangely unbelievable. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be.
I agree with you, Johnny. I think it's going to be a certified and genuine Miyamoto face fuck.
It is going to be a genuine one at that. Oh my
With
God.
cake all over him.
Oh, wow. So, I can't wait to hear your stories next week, Pete. It's going to be fun.
Definitely. Oh, this is the part, guys. John, thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. For what?
This is... Oh, God, people.
What?
Pete, please explain.
Thank you.
Thank
What?
you. This is the part where we thank everybody.
Oh yes, thanks everybody.
Jesus
thank you.
And
Christ.
everybody, wish John, Mr. Gamester81, a happy 30th birthday.
We should all
Don't
sing to
remind
him.
me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday.
birthday, John. He's gonna get a 3DS and Jason isn't. Happy birthday
This motherfucker.
to you. Come shit in my room. I do not give a fuck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend, John, for sure.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.